Nothing in this world could stop the Rage Select podcast. Nothing, except for that one time when my dog is sick. But other than that, nothing.
Those were extreme circumstances, though.
I will sit here by myself if I have to. I've already done it every other day this week. So welcome back, everybody, to the Rage Select podcast right here on Rage Select. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
I think this actually might be, I don't know, it depends on what things look like next week. I really need to get to a thing where we're doing this over Skype and that we're not going over to people's houses or whatever.
We need mics for that, though.
Well, let's say I would let you borrow my microphone, but you would need a mixer to use it.
Yeah,
and then
I would need something actually like that it would hook into.
Everybody's just like, hey, man, you should have your co-hosts come on remotely. And I'm like, but how do they see the game? And it's like, Twitch? It's like, there's like a 20-second delay.
Yeah,
I can't be making fart jokes and then 20 seconds later you laugh at it. That's just, that's like comedy murder. You can't do that.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so here we are again, the Rage Select podcast here at Rage Select, and I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike again.
So yeah, I've been doing some solo streaming this week, some green screen solo streaming this week. I'm worried. I'm not really used to doing this whole bit by myself. I've had a co-host for 7 years. Whenever I'm by myself, I'm just like,
Just
boobies.
talk to Archer.
Boobies. He doesn't talk back. I need somebody to go back and forth with.
Well, you make up the dialogue in your head.
But that's just the same as doing
Just
it by
do a different
myself.
voice every time.
That's just doing it by myself.
It's me, Archer. Yahoo!
Also, there's no way in the world that he would do. He's got that dog sense where, like, if he's doing something cute and you like really quietly take out your phone and you like get ready to point it at him, as soon as it gets like halfway there, he just like turns the other way or like walks away. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
It's a legit problem.
Well, my dog is not. He's not photogenic.
No.
Well, he is. He is photogenic. He's just got some kind of weird superhero like anti-photo senses. His like mutant dog power. Well, speaking of superheroes, I actually watched a big chunk of that Harley Quinn show that came out last year.
Finally,
I haven't done it. I was looking for stuff. With the finale for Picard.
Oh, yeah.
Magicians is wrapping up. Like a lot of the stuff that I've been trying to watch is all wrapping up, and I was like, maybe now is the time for that Harley Quinn show. And you know what? That Harley Quinn show is good.
it's amazing.
You know what? Everybody's been saying that Harley Quinn show is good. I do think that they like. So there's like what is it? It's like the early 2000s Adult Swim problem of just like, look how much goddamn motherfucking profanity is in this. And
that
it's
is
like,
one thing.
listen, normal people don't swear this much, or I don't know.
Well, I've met people who swear that much, but we were like teenagers.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like, oh my God, look at Poison Ivy saying fuck all the time. And it's like, I actually think that the show itself is really clever.
Yeah.
And that part is like kind of the least clever part of the show, where I wish that and I'm not even saying that I wish that there was no profanity. It's like, look how foul-mouthed Harley Quinn is. Isn't that hilarious? And I'm like, I don't like most of the jokes in the show don't need that level of profanity.
A lot of them don't, but some of my favorite jokes also involve profanity.
Yeah.
Specifically, anytime it involves Bane. Because Bane is just so fucking perfect.
No, and that's the thing. I guess, like what I'm saying is that it definitely doesn't ruin the show. The show is very good. It just kind of starts to stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh no, it's obvious as hell.
Because it's just so frequent. It's so foul-mouthed.
Somebody got super excited that you can curse on something on DC.
Yeah.
And was like, let's do it as much as possible.
Do it all the time. Where like I was a lot. So I got about I was like about halfway through the entire series. I liked the Bane stuff. It's actually I like all the different. I like the stuff that's going on. And you know what? It also kind of makes the Birds of Prey movie look like garbage.
That's what I was saying. Here's the thing. Okay, everyone was like, Birds of Prey is great. I'm like, okay, here's the issue. Harley Quinn is so fucking good that Birds of Prey would have never lived up to that show, like in any shape, way, or form.
Yeah, it's just the Harley Quinn show. It's got better writing.
Absolutely.
And I know that because I was sitting here watching it by myself, and I know when something is genuinely funny because I'll sit here alone in my apartment and laugh out loud at it. Like if a show can make me, there's plenty of shows that are funny.
Yeah.
But if I'm just be sitting here by myself, just like, fuck, okay. Joker just took Bane's food. Oh no.
You didn't even want to come to this thing.
So it was, but yeah, I liked it. The only thing is that I just wish they would tone it down. It also represents, in my opinion, I feel like I need to go back after I do this and watch the latest season of Young Justice because, I gotta say, man, like the DC superhero movies that have come out, I've categorically just been like, nah, man.
Oh, I've hated them for a while now.
But like Young Justice and this show, like I like both of those a lot.
Oh,
like
absolutely. I hear really good things about that superhero girl show as well that they've been doing.
Teen Titans Go?
No, they made like a long time ago when DC had those like shorts with the Supergirl, Batgirl, and all those things.
Oh, okay.
They made like a whole show of those now.
Okay.
And so apparently a lot of people find those really fun too. Although it's very much like it's a kiddie kind of people who really like My Little Pony. That sort of kind of writing, I guess. I hear really good things about
random
that.
and twee.
Somewhat, but I hear there's a lot of fun writing with it. But that's the thing is that it shows how good people are willing to do stuff when it's not the DC animated movies,
Right.
Because those movies are garbage. To be honest, they've been garbage for a long time.
It almost feels like it's like because they'll pick a story, right? They pick like a high profile story, and then it's like they've got to find a way to manhandle that story into a 2-hour movie. And there's been a lot of them where I'm like, I don't understand why you changed the things that you changed.
Yes.
Like the things that you changed made this a worse story than it was. And then sometimes you have a story that would have been a 30-minute DVD and then you wrote 40 extra minutes to make it into a feature-length movie, and it's like, but that story didn't need 40 extra minutes. It was fine. It was a one-shot. There's a whole reason for that.
They're like, the Killing Joke's great, but what if we added this very uncomfortable Batgirl sequence in the beginning that ends with her fucking Batman? It's like, but why though? It's like, what's the point of all that?
Yeah.
And then there's all the stuff that happened, like the changes they made in Batman Hush were really weird. The changes I heard that you told me about with Red Sun was very strange. It destroyed a lot of really great moments in that comic, I think is my issue with that.
Yeah. It's really strange to me though, because Harley Quinn was good. I watched a little bit of Doom Patrol and that was really good.
I heard really good things about that.
Need to finish Doom Patrol. And it's like, why are the movies like all the DC movies, and in a lot of ways, like I don't even know what's going on in DC Comics, but like I didn't know anybody that had many good things to say about the New 52. Like most people were just kind of like,
for the most part, the Batman stuff was good.
Superman's a jackass. Batman's all right, but like the rest of it kind of sucks.
Mostly, yeah. There was people liked Aquaman and Animal Man. I heard was good. That's the thing. It was all shit no one cared about. What did you think of Kite Man, by the way, in the show?
He's all right.
I like Catman a lot.
He's all right.
He's a lot of fun.
He's kind of a ding dong, but
he's great.
I'm about halfway through. I'll probably finish watching that. But yeah, other than that, like so many of my shows are off. You know, Good Place is gone. Doctor Who ended with a whimper. It's like Magicians is over. Apparently, the Sci-Fi did that thing where they told magicians that it was going to be done like with zero time for them to try to wrap up all the dangling plot threads, and so it just kind of ends in a weird way.
They're really bad about that.
I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, I kind of hate Sci-Fi the channel. So.
I think Eureka is the only show they gave like a somewhat heads up with, so they rushed everything to get to the end.
Oh, you know what else I watched last week? I watched Doolittle.
Oh, the movie, the Robert Downey one.
Yeah, Dr. Doolittle. It was fine.
I thought it's fine, too.
It was fine.
It's a fun little film.
Like, hey, this is fine. I don't know if anybody had any issues with it or just everybody was like, I'm all right. But like, you run out of stuff to watch. You're sitting inside watching stuff all day. Watch Doolittle. I was like, this is perfectly acceptable little movie. Like,
for some reason, when it came out, everyone was like, "It's the worst thing ever." I'm like, what movie did you people see? This movie is not that bad. It's not super good either, but it's not that bad at all.
It was perfectly acceptable.
Exactly.
It was worth one watch, and then I'll never think about it ever again.
People were treating it like Battlefield Earth, like it was like the worst thing that ever. I'm like, what the fuck did you guys watch? Like, I watched a completely different movie than you people.
I don't know. Maybe that just goes into the whole thing. I mean, last week I was talking sugar about Bloodshot. I'm sure there are plenty of people that are just like, oh my God, it was so terrible. And I'm like, I thought it was fine. I don't know. Like my scale of what a bad movie is, you got to get way down on the list of bad movies in order to get to like what I would consider to be a bad movie. Like John Sitton is he watches a lot of like Mark Dacascos movies, and I'm like, that's okay. I think I could do without that. But I don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine with a lot of these things that are coming out. Like Onward was fine.
Oh, yeah.
It was fine. It wasn't as good as old Pixar, but it was fine. It was 2 hours and then it was over. It was fine. So, what have you been doing outside of playing God of War?
I rewatched all of Barry.
Okay.
Which is a show on HBO that I adore.
Yeah.
And it's still just as good as it was the first time I watched it.
Okay.
If not a little bit better because I can finally really pay attention to stuff in the background. But man, that show's so well written. It's only 2 seasons. There's only 16 episodes altogether.
Did it end? Is there going to be a third season?
There's supposed to be a third season, but the filming got delayed because of everything that's going on.
Okay.
Because Henry Winkler originally announced, it's we're going to start filming in March. And then the whole thing happened, and they're like, well, what's going to happen? It's we're going to see how it plays out. But then as it went on, of course, it got delayed. The same as a lot of other productions.
Okay.
Got delayed, which is unfortunate because I've been really looking forward to more Barry. I finally finished God of War.
Yeah.
Because I finally played God of War on my own time.
Yeah.
And I beat the Valkyrie Queen.
Yep.
For you people without you knowing. And my hand hurts really badly. Because when the attack button's in the R1 button, my thumb was not what got used. It was my pointer finger. And it hurts.
It's a weird thing that ever since Souls, there's a lot more games that use the R1 button for attack.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, it used to be just the face buttons, and so you get
always square or a triangle kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
you got your beefed up thumb to jam on those buttons, and now it's you can't jam on the shoulder buttons very well. It's
not for long periods of time, at least.
Yeah,
you can do it for a little bit, but the second you get in a really intense thing, and then you spend 2 hours doing that really intense thing,
you shouldn't do that.
Your finger is gonna get fucked up.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's how I beat the Valkyrie Queen. I got used to her patterns eventually. About an hour and a half into it.
Well, it sounds like you're ready to graduate to the Souls games, sir.
Maybe
you played an R1.
My hand hurts. I don't think I want to.
Well, it's not about speed in the Souls games, but it sounds like you're getting used to boss patterns.
It was tough though.
Okay,
she's a bitch.
Well, congratulations.
She's the worst.
Speaking of bitches, nope, that's not a good one. I don't have anything to go from there.
Watching It's Always Sunny.
Let's talk about video game stuff. So traditionally, with video games and April 1st, we have a lot of April Fool's jokes.
Yes.
I feel like this year was a little bit more toned down. Some of that may be Corona. Some of it may be one of the biggest April Fool's companies is Blizzard, and I feel like Blizzard is just trying to keep their head under a rock right now.
They're very, very self-conscious right now.
I feel like in another year, in another place, in another time, they would have announced Warcraft 3 remastered.
Yeah, they would have done something silly.
Something silly.
It would have been Overwatch characters in Blizzard and Warcraft or whatever, something weird like that.
Yeah, Diablo 4 is phone exclusive.
Yeah, it's phone exclusive. But then they're going to announce it again the next day. They're like, wait, I thought that was a joke.
Yeah. So, but no, we got a fair amount. We're going to run down them real fast. What Blizzard did do was put googly eyes on all the Overwatch characters. I don't know if you saw this, but
I did not.
It's basically every Overwatch character has a bunch of googly eyes plastered on them, and it's fine. It's really a lot lower grade prank than the normal Blizzard thing.
Yeah, it's a little interesting that they did that.
The one big thing though is that apparently the Hanzo's double his dragon, his ultimate, his thing or whatever. The dragons have big googly eyes on them as well.
Fun, actually.
So, but yeah,
a lot of fun.
That's that. And as near as I can tell, that's kind of it from Blizzard. That's all they did was just slap some googly eyes on some Overwatch characters.
That shows how much they trying to keep their heads down, to be honest.
Yep. Or I don't know. Maybe it's just that nobody wanted to do for reals those pranks. I don't know.
I guess that's true.
In Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Redemption 2, it's snowing. That happened.
Really,
that's
not really a prank, guys.
Well, apparently you could do the snowball fights from the winter thing, and it's
it's not a prank though.
Yeah,
or not really all that silly either.
No, that's it. We're gonna roll muted year this year. Guild Wars 2 has gigantic cats all over it.
That's fun.
Yeah, apparently there's a king of the cats, and if you talk to him, then you get a thing, and then it starts putting gigantic cats out in the distance over the course of the map.
That's fun.
So that's if anybody is actually playing Guild Wars 2.
I'm sure there's like 2 of them.
Here was one that was an example of why like game journalists hate April Fools, is because the company that made like the Monster Boy remake announced that they were doing a remaster of DuckTales Quackshot.
This did make me really bummed out. I think it was just a game they wanted to make or something.
Oh, okay. But, I don't know if this. I thought they said it was a remake of something. But...
I don't know if it was a remake, but I do know that. Somebody posted this, and I was like, "Look, here's the thing, guys. It's April 1st. This is a joke until I find out otherwise."
Yeah,
and then it turns out what happened with it was actually I think a little more interesting, to be honest.
Oh, I thought it was just an April Fool's joke.
No, it turns out they pitched this to Disney, and this is the concept art for their pitch. And they didn't want it to go to waste, so they used it as an April Fool's gag.
Oh God!
And I'm like, that's kind of fun, or it's a good use of it, to be honest.
Yeah,
but yeah.
The Crisis website updated with a picture of one of the Crisis people, and so everybody got excited there was going to be a new Crisis. But apparently, in the metadata for the website, it's got April Fools and like video game misspelled in it. So
they knew full well those motherfuckers were going to go digging.
Yeah. So there's not going to be a new Crisis game, which I'm kind of mad about. I like Crisis.
I don't know. That's the thing. I was mad about the DuckTales thing.
I'm a big fan of Crisis. So the other thing that we see a lot of times in April Fool's Day is actual playable things. Mm-hmm. One of those is Pico Hot, which is a like 8-bit D-Res D-Make of Super Hot.
Oh, that's fun.
That you can literally play in a browser window, and it's just like instead of full 3D assets, you have just these like pixelated characters, but they're in like a 3D space, kind of like an old like a Super Nintendo version of Doom or something like that. And you can
that's really fun. Actually,
you can actually play it. It's pretty all right.
That's cool, actually. I love when they actually do. That's a creative April Fool's thing that I like.
Yeah.
They don't really do those that often.
Yeah. Well, similarly, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator also has a DLC that they're putting out on April Fool's that is like some bugs that they bashed out of the game that they're basically adding back into the game as an options that you can do. There's like a low gravity. There's like one where you can spawn arrows and stuff, and this is a really interesting thing because the DLC is paid right now with all proceeds going to charity.
Oh, okay.
And then like April 5th or 6th, they're going to just make it free as an update for the game. So
that's fun.
They're kind of giving people the opportunity to do that if they want to.
Good for them.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. There's not really a whole lot else going on in here.
I don't really hear of any other April Fool's gags, to be honest.
Yeah. I saw... Oh, well, there's one more that we'll talk about in a minute. But there was... I didn't realize it yesterday that HBO Max announced that they're going to put the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, and I was like, oh God, they really did it. Then I was like, oh fuck, I forgot what day it is.
They made I know Honest Trailers made a Snyder Cut Honest Trailer.
Yeah,
which was really funny.
I don't think that thing's ever going to see the light of day.
I hope to God it doesn't. Did you hear what Zack Snyder did, though?
No.
He was on Vero, and he did a 3-hour commentary to Batman v Superbad.
Why?
Because he's single-handedly keeping Vero alive, apparently.
I don't even know what that is.
It was a thing. It was this social app that somebody made, and everyone got really excited about it at first until it came out that the guy was like super shady who made it.
Okay.
But for some reason, the only person who stuck around was Zack Snyder. And he consistently uses it all the time, apparently.
It's like the Zack Snyder app, like an app for one person.
It might as well be at this point. But yeah, he went on there and live watched Batman v Superbad and did a commentary for it.
Okay.
And it's dumb.
It's like, oh man, this movie's so awesome.
It's a lot of him. Yeah, it's a lot of him with his head in his ass going, this was the great symbolism that I had. I'm like, none of that's conveyed in this movie. Literally none of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the last thing that we got from April Fools was the Pubg Fantasy Battle Royale, which is an actual thing. Another one of the things that actually got released, where there's like 4 like character classes, like Ranger and Mage and like Warrior and shit, and you can craft stuff. and it kind of just looks like garbage to me.
Well,
like
it's PUBG never really looked great to begin with.
The thing is that it's mainly it feels like it's made out of existing assets, that it's not really new. Like, it would be one thing if they were like I feel like if Fortnite was going to do this, they'd be like, we've reskinned the entire game and it's now a fantasy forest that you play this fantasy thing.
Oh, they absolutely would have. And it would have been this super fancy thing. It would last for like a year.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. With all these updates in the middle of it.
So, yeah. In fact, they even came out, PUBG Corporation even came out and said that they didn't actually have to divert many resources to do this, because I think there's still this thing where they're shedding players like crazy, because they're just like, there have been bugs in this game for like 4 years now that you just haven't fixed, and like everything is broken.
Yeah.
Like, you have this horrible thing where you're trying to keep your servers balanced between like DDoS attacks, and then that slows down the actual playing of people who are actually legitimately playing the game. So
that's the thing, is they've been struggling since Fortnite came out.
Yeah.
And Fortnite consistently was coming out with more and more stuff. And this was very early on, when Fortnite was like, one of the most interesting things they did was they added a shopping cart to Fortnite and all this other shit. And then PUBG was like, we have this new exciting thing. You can climb over things. It's
the mantling.
But what? So yeah, you can climb over walls now. I'm like, but that's what? Like, it was, they were super excited about it, but it's like, guys, this is bullshit compared to what's going on in Fortnite.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting story. It continues to develop. I'm waiting for the day. I don't think that PUBG will ever go out of business.
It's not going to go out of business, but I'm waiting for Fortnite to like finally die down, and then PUBG might get a little boost from that, but that could be ages from now.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like this is the difference between, like a full-on corporation and like a guy that made a mod and then was struggling to like start a corporation to like...
He was given a chunk of money, and then he didn't know what else to do after that.
Yep. So, I don't know. Not going to make me play PUBG, that's for sure.
No, yeah.
I ain't playing PUBG.
Good luck with that, though.
Well, speaking of scumbag CEOs, it's time to talk about Randy Pitchford, everybody.
I figured this is where we're going.
Yep. Randy Pitchford. Who's a big fan of Randy Pitchford?
Randy Pitchford.
Anybody?
Yeah. He's a big fan of himself. Looks at himself in the mirror, covered in cocaine and magic tricks.
It came out yesterday that, so this takes a little bit of explaining. Apparently, I didn't actually know this, but apparently for a long, long time, Gearbox has been underpaying their developers. So that just consistently, if you go to work at Gearbox, you're going to make less money than if you go to work at a different studio just on the median. They, however, make up for that by giving their employees basically a percentage of how well a game will sell.
Yes.
So they had a whole thing where they said like 60% of the profits goes back into the company and to like the CEOs and stuff, and then 40% of the profits just goes directly to the people that work at the corporation. Apparently in the past, devs who have worked on games like Borderlands 2 have been able to like buy a house with the bonuses they've gotten from this particular setup system. Well, not this time.
Yeah.
So apparently Borderlands 3, they're still getting some kind of bonus, but it's not nearly what they thought they were going to be getting. They were
expecting, because that's the thing about the Borderlands 2 thing. It was huge.
Yeah.
The payout was massive, guys. Like the whole, like you said, the house. That's not cheap.
Yeah.
Like one of the guys said like they got like hundreds of thousands from the Borderlands 2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy.
So a lot of that seems to be, I hate to say this, but a lot of that seems to be the fact that there were some factors with this. One was that apparently Gearbox didn't start making money on Borderlands 3 until 2K was paid off for the entire development budget of Borderlands 3, including the DLC that came out.
Oh, okay.
So, and then Borderlands 3 apparently had a huge development budget because they switched from Unreal 3 to Unreal 4 halfway through, and they opened up a second studio to get the game finished. So apparently the development cost was $95 million, and if you add the DLC in, it comes up to like $140 million.
And their marketing, I think, too.
Yeah, that has to go back to 2K before they start seeing anything, which means that the amount that's coming into Gearbox is probably quite a bit lower than with previous games that came out. Now, Borderlands 3 did gangbusters better than Borderlands 2. But all this is to kind of say, it kind of feels like Gearbox has a little bit of a management issue. Like feels like these issues are management problems.
Mostly Randy Pitchford probably.
Yeah. Also, there was a court filing that we talked about a long time ago that came out. It was Randy Pitchford versus the guy that
the Claptrap guy
punched out or whatever. I don't think it was that guy. I think it was a different guy.
No, it was the Claptrap guy. He got into a fist fight with him.
But he said that he gave himself a $12 million bonus at the very beginning of development of Borderlands 3. So there's been a little bit of that, too, about like, hey, Randy, you keep giving yourself lots and lots of money, and then your employees keep getting kind of fucked. Because the problem is that since Borderlands 2, it's been real lean with that profit-sharing thing because you had Aliens Colonial Marines, did not sell very well. Battleborn did not sell very well.
No.
So, like, if the games aren't selling well, then that whole, like, we'll make up the extra with this profit-sharing, like, percentage thing doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. One of the there's a big article on this on Kotaku that Jason Schreier did, and one of the things that has been postulated is that you might be seeing a large exodus of employees from Gearbox very soon because
I heard a statement where he was saying like, well, if they don't want to, if they have an issue with it, you can just leave, is what it said.
Right.
I was like, well, they're going to. That's the thing.
I mean, why would you do that, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were getting paid what you knew was like a substandard salary, but then you were hoping to make it up with this thing, and you had Aliens Colonial Marines that was a fucking dud, and then Battleborn that was a fucking dud, and then you're finally like, we're bringing back Borderlands, and everybody's super excited about it, and it sells super well, and then they're like, yeah, but no money for you.
Yeah.
Well, then why the fuck would you stay at a place like that?
We spend it all on coke and magic tricks.
Yeah. Medieval times, giant turkey legs.
Exactly.
Medieval times.
I can imagine Randy Pitchford in like an office full of cocaine on a Skype, just going, I don't see, just like sniffing in the background. I don't see what happened to all the money, and just covered in white.
Yeah,
he's a crazy person. Is the thing about Randy Pitchford.
It's kind of amazing because it's one of those things where it just goes to show you that like it takes a lot to really tank somebody in this industry.
It does.
Like, it takes a lot to tank because Randy Pitchford has kind of been like an asshole for years.
Yeah.
Like making bad decisions, fucking up the company and games and stuff. Like, it takes a long time apparently to fail your way all the way out of this industry, and I don't think he's there yet. Like, not even a little bit.
The thing is, like, he's still making money,
right?
But then honestly, the odds are that he's using the money for himself, and just doesn't want to admit it to anybody.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Well, speaking of using the money for yourself and not admitting it to anybody, GameStop is going to be closing over 300 stores this year.
Yeah.
So I think I was talking about this a lot. We were talking about GameStop remaining open during the whole coronavirus thing. My postulation there was that they could not afford to close, and that if they closed and were closed for any extended amount of time, that they were going to start like either closing stores or going under. Apparently, yes. They're going to close over 320 stores before the year is out. A lot of this, though, part of this article was talking about how, like, and I can see this, how, like, when GameStop got, like, back in the heyday of GameStop, my God, the number of GameStops that were opened.
Oh,
like,
no, it was massive.
Like, around my house, like, within a 10-mile radius of my house, I think there were, like, 4 or 5, and it's like, you do not need that many specialty video game stores in that radius. So part of this is what they say, they're talking about, like, desaturating the number of GameStops that are literally within.
They really should
every
still,
city block.
When I was in Del Rio, there was one of them. There was one inside, or there was one like essentially like say this was one, and like literally down the road there was another one.
Right.
Like, literally down the road there's another one. In fact, where I live, where there's one where the lake line where you picked up Kakarot, and there's one also in the mall that's literally right across from it.
Yeah.
There's just 2 GameStops within that little fucking 10-minute radius. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well,
they'd kept it like that for years.
It makes sense if there's enough traffic, right? But like increasingly, that's the thing that always pisses me off about GameStop is it feels like GameStop, like their business plan is just to like keep pretending like it's 2002.
Yeah.
And like, just we're going to pretend as hard as we can, and Funko Pops. So,
well, part of the reason they had so many of them close together as well is a lot of them used to be EB games.
Oh, that's true.
Before they bought off eBay games, and then instead of closing them, they just turned them into more GameStops.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan of the people that work at GameStop losing their job, but on the other hand, I mean, the thing is that there was a GameStop that was very close to my house, and they closed it. So now it's like, well, I'm not going to anymore because, like, in between my house and the closest GameStop is a Best Buy.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just go there instead. Like.
And their memberships have changed immensely too. Like I think I talked to you about it off mic, whereas that they used to be these this thing where you got 10% off their used games. Now it's just a $5 coupon for the entire month.
Right.
It's like, well, what the fuck, guys? I don't want to do that. And apparently they expire for that month, so you can't just collect 12 of them and then use them all at once.
It also
makes it worse.
It's also worth noting, I don't know if I've ever really brought this up when talking about GameStop before, about like how often with things like Game Pass and then like Steam sales and like the sales on the PlayStation 4 that like old games go on sale digitally for like the amount of money or less that you would buy them from a GameStop all the time.
Absolutely.
Like,
Control is $47 with its season pass right now on the PS4.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be 54 at that GameStop.
And there's a lot of those Game Pass games too, right? That like they're just you just go download them and play them and stuff like PlayStation Plus. Like I feel like it's really eaten into the market of, you know, for me a lot of times it's like, well, if I'm looking for a game, chances are I can download it digitally. If I really need it, like if it's an obscure game, a lot of times it's not going to be available at GameStop anyway, because they had one copy of it and they sold it because, you know, like we were talking last week about the Project Rainfall games, right?
Oh yeah,
like they're not going to have those for $15 at the store. So
even if they have them, they won't be 15. They'll be like 70 or something because they always make them so expensive if they're harder to get.
Yeah,
even if they're really old, like the Ultimate Alliance games.
Yeah,
I remember when they got harder to find, they were like almost 70 sometimes.
Jesus,
like it was because they were just like, well, they don't sell them anymore, I guess. It's like, well, fuck you guys. I'm not going to give you that much of money for like a 15-year-old game kind of thing.
The only thing I was thinking about it is this article that I was reading on Games Radar that kind of also mentioned it, is that they'll probably be able to downsize and kind of consolidate a little bit more. And then there's a good possibility that as soon as the console pre-orders open for the PS5 and the Series X, that they'll get a big influx of trade-ins for pre-orders and things like that.
That's their hope, and it's a fair thing to hope for, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know. This is another one of those things, kind of like E3, where I'm like, look, man, I don't want all the people that work at GameStop to lose their jobs, but on the other hand, the idea of GameStop has become less and less functional over the years.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. It's been really interesting during this time to just see how easy it is to switch over to nothing but digital games. Like all I bought for the last few weeks have just been straight up digital games. It's been fine.
It's a pain in the ass for people who want a lot of physical stuff, but other than that, you still can order online though.
Yeah. Let's see. If you go to GameStop in Australia, there's a possibility that you might be able to be buying Final Fantasy VII Remake right now.
Oh, geez.
So apparently, actually, that's not entirely true. Apparently,
so they're upside down, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes. Because the game falls faster.
Exactly.
The gravity. No,
it goes in a different circle.
It goes in a opposite circle, right?
Yeah.
So apparently. Last week, we had the story where Square Enix was like, Final Fantasy VII could be delayed. We don't know. We're shipping it out.
Yeah.
Apparently, what this has resulted in was that Square shipped it out early to try to, like, buffer through, like, shipping delays.
Oh, okay.
And so any place that has shipped normally is now, like, just plenty of people who just have copies of Final Fantasy VII. Like, right now. Like, we're recording this on April 2nd. It doesn't come out until the 11th, I believe.
It's quite a while from now.
Or the 10th, next Friday.
Like still, though.
But yeah, like a week early. And Square is like, so, hey, cool. Please don't spoil Final Fantasy VII and all the things that are in it. And it's like, okay. But hey, yeah, maybe one of those lucky people. Maybe you have a copy of Final Fantasy VII and you want to send it to Jeff from Rage Select. FedEx it overnight to me from Australia. It'll cost $600.
It'll be fine.
If that even exists. But yeah, I personally am rooting for Square Enix being like, let's just put it out. Let's just put it out now. Just break it's obviously uploaded to the PlayStation Network already. Like, let's just break the date and like let people install it now.
You might as well, to be honest.
I mean, if there was one truly fantastic way to fuck Atlas and the release of Persona 5 Royale, it would be to put out Final Fantasy VII like 6 days early, 2 days after Persona 5 Royale came out. Like,
it would be a pretty insane move. It would be like when Overwatch made their another beta, one Battleborn.
Oh, right.
Poor guys.
So, yep. Let's see. Speaking of JRPGs, we had a big announcement last week. Apparently, Nier Replicant, which is the Japanese version of the original Nier game, which is a spin-off of one of the endings from Drakengard, which is craziness, insanity, bizarre nuttiness, has been announced for the PS4, the PC, Xbox One. So just for anybody who doesn't know, there was two Niers. There was Nier Replicant that had a kind of young Japanese protagonist, and then that was for the Japan release. And then in the West, there was a Nier Gestalt that had like an older, buffer, like gruffer, like more Kratos-y protagonist.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this, though.
Yeah. And so if you bought the Japanese version and the American version, literally had different protagonists because they were like, well, American audiences don't like skinny Japanese boys, so we're going to put a big, blonde, American tough guy in there.
I forgot that was the thing. I remember that now.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing for a while.
It's a whole fucking thing.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Nier Replicant, it's called Nier Replicant version 1.224744871139. I don't know if that has some...
It just rolls off the tongue is what you're saying.
Yep. Will be launched. We don't actually have a release date for it, but it's going to have new voice work, re-recorded music, some new tracks, new characters, possibly new endings. I think this is really interesting that Nier has kind of like caught back on in a weird way.
Automata did a lot for it.
Yeah, with specifically with Automata, because as near as I can tell,
Nier.
I don't remember. Like, I've heard a lot of people say that the gameplay of the original Nier sucks.
There's a reason no one talks about those old games.
Yeah,
like that whole thing about the two different protagonists was the only thing I ever remembered about it.
Right.
That was the thing when you told me they're making it again. I was like, I don't remember anything about that. But the second you said that, I was like, oh, it's that game.
Right.
That no one else ever talked about ever again after it came out.
There's some. I mean, like I've listened to Watch Out for Fireballs talk about it, and like I kind of agree with them a lot in a lot of different ways, but it seems like it has a really fascinating story.
Yeah.
But again, it's like one of the best things that happened to Nier Automata was that they got Platinum to do the combat engine for it.
Yes.
Right. Yoko Taro got to write the crazy ass story, but the actual combat engine was built by a company that knew how to do that because, and again, like, listen, I haven't played them, so I would really like for somebody to tell me if this is wrong, but as I understand it, all of Drakengard and Nier that Yoko Taro made like by himself, they kind of play like butthole. Like that, and that you've got to play them over, you've got to play this kind of like kind of not fun game over and over again to really get to the interesting tidbits of story. Like you've seen the whole smash up of like the endings of Drakengard, right?
Yeah.
Or there's some that are just so loony and so bizarre, but you have to play the game multiple times to get to those endings, and that actually playing the game is not super fun. So
there's a reason they didn't do the best over here.
What's that?
There's a reason they didn't do the best over here to begin with.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm interested. Again, I was talking with you before we started about how this goes back to kind of what we were talking about before, where I haven't actually played Nier, or if I did, it was a long ass time ago. I don't know if I ever played it at all. But the thing is that I am interested in story, but if it's like you've got to play this kind of unpleasant game for 15 hours to get the story, I'm not really super interested in that.
I'll just watch a whole YouTube, like all the cutscenes together kind of thing.
Exactly. I went back last week. I was drunk and I watched all the cutscenes for Command & Conquer Red Alert.
Oh, jeez.
1, 2, and 3.
Probably wasn't that long, though.
I forgot that J.K. Simmons was the president in 3.
Oh, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah. The dad from Twin Peaks was the president in 2. And Tanya switched from this like beauty model in 2 to then Jenny McCarthy in 3.
Oh, okay.
And then the Russian sniper lady in 2 was Gina Carano, which I'd completely forgotten.
Did not realize that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was really strange going back and looking at those. And like it's so weird because in 2 like they have these weird endings where at the end of the game like at the end of 3, like the hot British girl who gives you your missions and then Jenny McCarthy show up in a split screen. They're both like, "Hey, Commander, let's go out to dinner tonight." And it's like, which one of us do you want to go out to dinner with? And it's like, what? I don't.
You win, I guess.
I guess. Have a girl.
Have a girl.
So anyway.
Sure. Question mark?
Nier is coming out. Nier Replicant is coming out at some point.
The near future.
Yeah. Nah, I see what you did there. See what you did there. Also, we got an announcement for Nier Reincarnation, which is a phone game set in the Nier universe.
Okay, then.
Given Square Enix's track record with phone games,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
can't say that this is going to be the biggest thing. I don't. It's so weird to think of like Nier blowing up into this giant thing because of Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Like again, one of the endings of Drakengard was what made Nier. In one of the endings of Drakengard, one of the dragons goes from the Drakengard universe to like modern day Japan, and then that's what kicks off what happens in the Nier universe.
Huh.
Which I don't know if you know what happens in the Nier universe, but Nier is fucking bizarre.
I remember hearing the twist to Automata, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
but it's
yeah. Hear what happens in the fucking
it's
original
something.
Nier.
Yeah,
it's so strange, so strange. Anyway. Also, one more Nier story, and then we're done.
Sure.
Nier Automata Become as Gods edition is going to be coming out in the Xbox Game Pass. By the time you hear this, it'll already be out.
Oh, nice.
So if you have been falling down on, or if you've been saying, I don't know about Nier Automata, you can try it out now.
Yeah.
I would recommend. I know that this is not a thing that a lot of people are probably going to want to hear, but like, I would really recommend like trying as much as possible to mainline the main story for Nier Automata, because you have to play through the entire main story and then you start the entire game over and play it again.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a third way to play through it. And then there's actually like about 4 or 5 different like split off points that have different types of endings. Like it's really dense. It's almost this sort of game where I'm like, you should use a guide. You should use a guide.
It's a really weird game.
Plays. It doesn't quick save ever. Or well, actually, I think you can quick save, but you literally have to install like an upgrade that does a quick save.
That's weird.
Like I didn't realize this until the end of the game, but like the maps are full of these wild animals that are running through the like ruins of the world, and I'm like, they give you the ability to get this bait, and you can get the animals to come up, and then like if you hit a button, you can ride the animals, and I'm like, well, why would you do that? And then it's like, when I was almost done with the game, I realized, well, when you go back to play the game a second time and you need to get to the other side of the map, you get a moose to come and eat the bait, and then you jump on a moose's back and ride it across the desert. And I'm like, and the game just doesn't tell you that shit. Like,
Mooses.
it turns out there was a bunch of upgrades that you did that you would have to install in your loadout that would do things like automatically pick up an item off the ground instead of having to hit a button to pick the item up off the ground. And it's like, what?
So the game, I guess.
Interesting, very esoteric. I highly recommend it. Somebody had to push me because I beat it, and I was like, it was all right. They're like, oh, you only beat it one time? You got to go back and beat it like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, all right.
It's a good game, though.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
It can get a little repetitive, but it's interesting. So there's nothing else like it. That's what I'll say. And I actually hear there's not going to be nothing else like Resident Evil 8, which is rumored to be in development right now.
Go on.
Resident Evil 8, apparently there's been some leaks from this person named Dusk Golem, who has leaked a bunch of stuff before that has turned out to be true, and says that Resident Evil 8 is apparently been in development for the last 3 years and is going to be completely different, a huge departure from what we've seen before from Resident Evil.
It's gonna be that Wesker wears subscriptions, as it turns out.
Well, I don't know. It says that according to the quotes, they say that they anticipate that the shift might actually upset fans of Resident Evil. And I'm like, oh, God, you guys, come on. We're on such a roll here. Like, we're on such a good roll here.
It depends on the shift, though, is the thing. If it's like a story shift and the gameplay's still great, I could probably get past that.
Yep.
But if it's like Resident Evil 6 shift, where it was more of an action game, then I'm sure then I can see why people would be upset again.
I'm trying to think of like what could be a huge shift in Resident Evil. The thing is that there's a whole lot of questions after Resident Evil 7.
Oh, no,
right?
absolutely.
Like, what the fuck is up with Umbrella that Chris Redfield works for?
The blue umbrella looking one.
Right. And like, yeah.
Also, Chris lost a lot of muscle mass.
Yes, he did. He was like a normal human being now.
He looked like a person. It's fucking crazy.
I really hope that they don't just ignore Final Fantasy. Somebody told me, you can confirm this, you beat Doom Eternal, that they never explain how Doom Guy gets in the asteroid in Doom Eternal.
They don't. They're just like, this is your base or whatever. I'm like, but why did I get this base? Don't worry about it. Here's a shotgun. I'm like, okay, I don't care now.
I still care, but I guess the thing is, I loved Resident Evil 7 so much.
It explains a lot of stuff, but it never explains the in-between of that, yeah.
Because at the end of it, the doctor robot guy comes out and like zotzes your armor and like fall over, and then it's like
just
the end.
Yeah.
So,
and then there's a lot of stuff with him that's alluded to in the second one. I don't want to spoil anything.
Don't spoil it.
Doom Eternal's amazing though.
Anyway, I'm trying to think of what could happen. You know what? The thing that would make me upset would be if they just would. You know what would really upset me is if they went back. If like Resident Evil 8 was about Leon Kennedy. I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. I want it to be about the protagonist from 7, Joel or whatever his name was.
Maybe it's just going to be Wesker's son again.
No.
Just punching things to death.
No.
See, the second you said no, maybe that's what it is.
No.
They said it would upset people.
Yeah. You can play as Sherry Birkin.
Yeah.
This is the whole Sherry Birkin game. It's a dating simulator where you play as Sherry Birkin trying to find love in the BOW apocalypse. It picks up right after the end of Resident Evil 6.
You know what would be amazing if it was
erases
that?
7 from the continuity, and then it's just about 6.
No, what I love the idea of that is I love the idea that it is a dating simulator, but you keep hearing about really cool shit happening, and you're just like, do you want to join them? And you're like, nah, that sounds lame, and then you get back to dinner or whatever the fuck you're doing.
You get back to table manners.
Exactly. You got to learn how to date correctly. You got to learn to earn Sherry's heart or whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta stop punching things to death. Wesker's son's name that I forgot.
Please stop. Please don't throw away Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was so interesting.
So good.
Please don't throw that storyline away and then like go forward. I don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Yep. I don't know. At least maybe it'll be scary. Maybe it'll still be scary.
Scary dating simulator.
Yeah. Scary dating simulator.
Can't wait.
Which apparently is what Kojima wants his next game to be. He wants to be so scary that you won't pee your pants, you'll shit them. There was an interview that he did with BAFTA, the like British Arts and Film Society or whatever.
That's interesting.
Where he talked about how like Kojima, I don't know, he's been talking about this horror game thing for a while, and he's like, I'm so easily scared, and I want to make a scary horror game that scares people.
Who better to be scared?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his... It depends on how much of a weenie... Like, was there one thing where he said they couldn't even look at the boxes of horror movies because they were too scary?
Something like that. I remember hearing something like that, yeah.
It's like, Kojima, are you sure you're the one to make this frightening horror game? We were like, oh, no, look, somebody cut their finger and blood is everywhere.
Ooh.
I pooped my pants.
Haunted shopping lists.
Yeah. I don't know. I do wish that he would just go ahead and start making something.
I want him to make like a Hell House game. You know those Hell Houses that like Christian people make or whatever?
What?
They're so
put your hand in spaghetti.
It's kind of like that. What it is that there's Christian people who they hate haunted houses,
so
they make things called Hell Houses.
Okay,
where they're supposed to be like trying to get you the get away from the idea of sin and shit.
Okay.
But they're basically like haunted houses, but super fucking lame.
Oh, like what?
Because it's just stuff like drinking is bad or whatever, like just shit like that.
Oh, okay.
They're like he drank and then he woke up late for school or something, or something stupid like that. And I love the idea that Kojima's such a nerd that he just does something stupid like that.
That's gonna be the next Resident Evil game right there. Resident Evil Hell House. They're gonna be like, oh, that sounds great. There's like a new mansion, and I'd be like, yeah, it's run by Mormons. They're like, woo, can we talk to you about Jesus Christ? And you're like, no, where's the shotgun? Like, we don't own a shotgun.
Here's
Sorry.
holy water, so I can use it on demons. Nope, just holy water.
Yep. We've got Diet Coke and Coke. Which one do you want?
Well, we're out of Cokes, though.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of horrible terror, terrifying horror, and horrifying terribleness, Dead or Alive 6 is back in the news. We had that story about how Dead or Alive wanted to charge you $1 every time you wanted to change the hair color.
It's pretty dumb, yeah.
Apparently now they've changed that. They have heard the people's cries and they have changed it. They have fixed the problem. And now each dollar will unlock all of the hair colors, but only for one hair. So each individual hair requires a new hair color. As near as I can understand it, the hair color feature has now been revised. Hair color can now be unlocked permanently for any hairstyle that offers it. That includes all available colors. E.g., if you purchase hair color from Marie Rosa's long hairstyle, you unlock all 16 hair colors for this hairstyle. So as near as I can tell, each individual style has to have an unlock. It costs money to unlock all the different colors for it. What a fucking greedy bunch of shitheads.
That's better?
What a bunch of I mean, yeah, it's better, but it's like you're not pooping directly in my mouth. Now you're just doing it on my forehead. And it's like, well, this is not as bad. I'd rather you just be a person. Like who was like, you know what we should do? We should charge them every single time they want to change the hair color.
Why is it Dead or Alive that does it? Is my only question. Like, why? Who thought Dead or Alive was such a huge franchise that they can totally get away with something like this?
I think I might know the answer to that, and I think it's because the people that played Dead or Alive are really, really like devoted to it. So you can fuck them, like that. They're not gonna go away because there's no other game that's like, hey, dress up this jiggly boob girl in whatever maid costume you want, and then, you know, make her jump up and down in photo mode. Also, you can import her into the beach volleyball simulator or whatever. Like, I think that the people that are into the Dead or Alive characters, or that Dead or Alive more than any other video game, like, Dead or Alive has a free-to-play dating sim there's a whole sex mini game.
Oh, yeah.
That's attached to Dead or Alive. Like, there's not like the Mortal Kombat dating simulator or the Street Fighter 5 photo sex game or whatever.
It would have made a much better launch, though.
Yeah. So I think that it's because they've developed this like whole salacious, like, I think that's why they have that like that $1,000 worth of DLC.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Is because people are so just like, I want to dress up Kasumi as a slutty waitress, as a slutty maid cafe waitress. And they're like, okay, it'll be $5. And they're like, sold! Slutty maids, here I come!
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know, man. Like, you know, every porno game on Steam has like a positive rating, sells well. Like every week there's at least 2 days a week where there's like some kind of hentai visual novel in like the top sellers of Steam.
That's so weird to me still.
And like, you know how mad people get when they put, you know, some moderate amount of censorship on like the PS4 version of some slutty, like, these schoolgirls that are actually 1,000-year-old demons need a spanking, and like only you can spank them hard enough, master, to get them to play this bad roguelike. They're like, and they put all these camera lens flares over their nipples, and I can't jerk off to it. Like, listen, man, you jerk off to whatever you want to, but like, I feel like the people that are into the sex that have sex and games connected, like Galgun had like that. It was like a $40 DLC to make all of the boobs in the game bigger. Like it was a $60 game, and then it had like a $60 DLC to basically upgrade all the boobs in the game to be so that every girl in the game had like gigantic boobs. And there was another one that was also like $50 or $60. That was like the cost of the game.
I'm looking this up
to make the boobs smaller. So like, I feel like this is not a new thing when it comes to fleecing people for sex in games.
Oh, I'm not surprised, but like, fuck, it's the hair, man. It's just hair colors.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like that people know. I don't feel like a lot of people look hard enough into this stuff.
I don't think they do. Yeah.
I don't know if it was exactly Galgun, but it was something. There was one of those that was like that.
I feel like there was something that definitely did that. There's a lot of weird shit already in here. One called Sergeant Suspender Set.
Dude, like the thing is that I feel like the DLC for Dead or Alive 6 has gotten a lot of shit because you can like literally at the bottom see how much it would be to buy all of it on Steam. But that like there are a lot of these games, just sexy games on the PlayStation and the Xbox, where if you go to the DLC page, Jesus, you will be amazed at the number of $5 things. Every Senran Kagura game has like a huge DLC list.
There's a $5 bubble bath thing for Galgun too.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
There's so many.
They're all literally $5.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of paying way too much for stuff, we got the end of a court case this week for Call of Duty, where Activision was being sued by AM General because the Humvees in Call of Duty were like exactly like what a Humvee looks like, and they hadn't paid for the rights to use a Humvee.
That's interesting.
Yes, it is. What's even more interesting is the fact that a judge ruled in favor of Activision, which I find really fascinating. He basically said, the judge said, the inclusion of Humvees in the foreground or background of various scenes are integral elements of a video game, because they communicate ideas through features distinctive to the medium. Basically saying, like, if you're making a war game, you're going to put stuff in there that looks like stuff that's in a war.
Yeah.
You don't have to make everything an off-brand version just because, etc. So
that's interesting, actually.
Also, you could make a kind of a weird. There's also a really weird intellectual case to be made there of the fact that, like, okay, our tax dollars pay for the government to use Humvees in our name. Aren't we then entitled to essentially the intellectual property rights to the things that we have purchased indirectly through the government? Question mark?
I have no fucking idea. You lost me halfway through that sentence.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
that's so interesting.
Is interesting, and it also brings up a really interesting question of like, well, does that mean if you're making a game about street racing that you can just use whatever cars are normally used in street races in the United States? Like, do you have to pay for the specific car rights?
Well, yeah, that opens up to a lot of stuff like that. Like, what about sports games and stuff like that?
Yep.
It's like, do I have to ask to use LeBron James or something if we know he's a sport and I have to convey that message or something?
Yep.
I don't know. That's interesting.
It is. It is. Uh-oh. We're way out of time. We still got a lot left to go. Call of Duty. Speaking of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 was rumored last week, but it's out this week.
Huh.
Boom. Whole campaign is out. It is $20. It is remastered. It is all Modern Warfare 2, except it's just the single player. It is none of the multiplayer and none of the stuff. And in a statement, Activision basically said, we didn't want to put multiplayer in here because we already have the Modern Warfare multiplayer and the Warzone multiplayer, and we didn't want to fragment our multiplayer population into 3 separate video games at the same time.
It's also not a bad idea in general, because it's just, like, honestly, what would you honestly be adding? I think it's just the old maps, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, like, basically when they did Modern Warfare, it was the multiplayer mode from Modern Warfare, which appeals to a lot of people because they liked that particular multiplayer mode, like, before they changed things around as the game went forward.
I guess I could see that, but I don't know. Like, in this instance, Modern Warfare 2 wasn't exactly well known for a lot of things compared to the first Modern Warfare, so
I don't know. The real question that I have is $20 too much for just the single player campaign of a 5-year-old video game?
I think it depends on how long it is. There wasn't that long to begin with, if I remember correctly.
Well, here, maybe this is a better question. Would you pay $20 for the Modern Warfare remastered only the single player campaign.
I would, but it's because the first one was really good.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything about the second one, so I couldn't tell you on that one.
I remember the part at the end where you stab that guy, and then his face turns around, and you get to watch the life drain out of his eyes. That's the only part of Modern Warfare 2 that I remember where I'm just like, that seemed excessive, and I didn't need to see that.
I remember people talking about that for days after that.
So that, No Russian, which is apparently still in the game. There's all these articles and shit about No Russian still in the game, and then everything was Oscar Mike. Modern Warfare 2 was the one where everybody was Oscar Mike all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's Oscar Mike, Oscar Mike, Oscar Mike. Like, that wasn't in the first one, but just everybody was talking about Oscar Mike all the time. Oh, and now that I think about it, there was more, too. There was like that snowmobile at the beginning.
I don't remember. It's been ages. Because that was the thing is I didn't try to go out to buy a bunch of Call of Duties after Part 4.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a big fan of its community.
Yeah.
Because its community was very mean. Even back then.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason I will never play Call of Duty with voice comms turned on ever again. There was one time where we were doing it, and I hadn't turned them off. I think it was on a live stream or something, where there's some guy that was just yelling at the top of his lungs at me to that I was too close to him, that I was standing too close to where he was. And I was like, dude, fuck you. This is a video game.
Yeah, people were fucking crazy.
Fuck you. This is a video game.
Yeah, even back then, the Call of Duty people were batshit insane.
Yep. All right, let's kick it up a little bit further into high gear. So Bethesda's not going to be showing anything around the E3 time. They announced specifically that they're not going to be having like a live stream or anything. So E3 is canceled. We're not going to be hearing anything from Bethesda. Who knows? Maybe they could use a year to get their shit together.
Maybe.
And we could see then.
Or they'll do something crazier.
They're just like, hey, everybody likes Doom Eternal. Just everybody shut up right now.
Just fucking
shut up. Everybody hide.
Fucking dare.
Hide.
Turn off Dwight Howard shit. Turn it off.
Yeah. Speaking of closures, QuakeCon 2020 is not happening. Been canceled. So
QuakeCon was still a thing?
Yep.
I know that sounds mean, but
yeah. It's funny. It's been a place where like I think that there was one year where that was like the only place that they were showing footage from like Doom for a while or Quake or something.
It was the fuck was it?
Rage?
I think it was Rage.
Yeah.
Rage 2. I have one of those. I have the jukebox thing that they gave away last year's QuakeCon because my coworker went.
Okay.
And he left it at his desk and I just took it.
Well, there you go.
Well, because he moved desks. That sounds like I stole it. He moved desks. He didn't want to take everything else with him, and he randomly gave me some of his shit.
He didn't want to come back for it either.
He gave me a cap that said "fuck soups" on it from like The Boys that he got at a comic shop or something.
Okay.
And I was like, what the fuck? It doesn't fit my head, or else I would wear it.
Wow, you like you should wear that with like a Venom T-shirt maybe, or like a Spawn graphic hoodie with a bunch of spawns all over it and stuff.
Exactly.
That'd be great. Hey, Michael, what's your favorite artifact news? This one's real fast.
Fucking hell.
So Steam has shut down the ability to buy or sell cards in Artifact, indicating that one of the things that people were most had a problem with, which was the idea that you had to buy card packs out of Artifact, has been taken out. So
hooray!
This goes back into like they're trying to retool Artifact. Who knows if we'll ever see Artifact?
Stop trying to make Artifact the thing.
They're gonna.
Please stop.
They're gonna. In other Steam news, Steam has started to stagger like when the auto updates happen in order to try to kind of save some bandwidth. So apparently, if you have a bunch of Steam games installed, only games that you've played in the last 3 days will get updates, and then they're always scheduled for like downtime when you're not playing things, when you're not logged in, or not when you're logged in, but like they know when you're playing games, and they try to schedule it for times when you're not playing any games. So, yeah. You can still update manually,
which is fair.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do some trailers. We had a trailer for Pong RPG, which looks like as much of a shit show as every other Atari revival thing that's happened over the last few years. It's some kind of weird RPG where you play as the Pong paddle, walking around and like playing Pong RPG battles with other
like,
Pongs.
Happy faces on the Pong paddles.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks kind of weird. I
don't really know what to say.
What?
It's an interesting thing to do with Pong. Is the best thing I could say about it.
I'm going to take a bold stance. I'm going to take a bold stance that nobody's ever said before, Michael. Pong is boring now. Like when they use it as a mini game in video games, I fucking hate it because I'm just like, it's just boring. Like it's boring and it's not great. Like the lowest I'll go is was it Arkanoid? Where you get like the little pills and you get a blaster on your thing.
Yeah.
It's the top-down one. But just Pong, like there's a Children of Morta had a thing where every so often you would play Pong of the Gods, where you just had to play Pong versus this spectral Pong player, and then at the end you would get an upgrade if you won. And I was just like, oh shit. I'd rather play any other minigame, right? The one where you have the 9 numbers and you got to put them in order. The towers, was it Towers of Hanoi? Like anything. Load Runner, like you put anything in there.
Well, it's like I said, it's the most interesting thing I've seen. Like somebody decided they wanted to do something different with Pong. I don't know why they thought it was the best idea, but it looks like at least it's an attempt. And honestly, it looks like it could maybe be something that somebody's going to play.
Do you remember the fact that Atari has been trying to do this shit for a long time? They had the VR what's the tank game? Battlezone.
Oh, yeah.
The Battlezone game. And then before that, they had that like PS3 Yar's Revenge game where they tried to spin Yar's Revenge into like a giant franchise.
That's
It's
true.
just like, I don't know that any of this is going to work, Atari.
I think the coolest thing I ever saw that was Pong related is at the pinballs off of Burn It.
Mm-hmm.
It's this
the one that's like a real Pong.
Yeah, it's like a real like the paddles. The paddle squares are actually like a 3D paddle thing, and then it goes back and forth.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
It was hard. Like magnet underneath.
Yeah,
that moves it around.
I played that with some guys when they came in out of town for something, and I ended up playing that for like a good 5 minutes, and that was kind of neat.
Yeah,
for like 5 minutes.
We also got a trailer for Mortal Shell, which is a weird Souls-alike that's being done by a group of like indie developers. It looks okay. It kind of looks a lot like a lot of other Unreal Engine games. It's got some interesting ideas. I kind of hope, though, Michael, that we're getting to the point where we stop trying to make Souls clones.
Oh my God, they're everywhere.
Because none of them are really as good as the original. Very few of them are even worth playing at all. So,
because there's the people making 2D Souls games.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are trying to make like essentially demastered kind of looking things.
There's a game coming out.
Trying to make cartoony versions of them. I don't know.
There's a game coming out literally on my birthday this year, or it's right around my birthday, which is like some kind of, it looks like a cross between like Dark Souls and Agony. Like it's got very monster-y, bloody, Cthulhu-y kind of stuff going on. And I'm just kind of like, I am, however, interested in a Boundary Orbital Security Detail, which is like a weird Call of Duty, but like in space. Like you got a bunch of spacemen with the Call of Duty guns flying around, just blowing the shit out of the International Space Station, apparently. Like, after this battle is over, nobody's going to be able to have the International Space Station anymore. I like it, though. I like the aesthetic. It's very kind of, like, realistic looking.
Well, that's the thing that I like about it, is because it's not like everybody looks like they're dressed in Halo and then they're outside and this floating Halo kind of thing.
Yeah.
This looks like something that could probably actually somewhat happen. And the only reason I say somewhat is because they're still shooting guns in the middle of space after each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
But everybody's wearing like an actual NASA looking spacesuit, and all the space station stuff looks like normal. Like there's nothing too out of place kind of thing.
It looks more realistic than your normal space
shooter of some kind. Yeah.
So
it's not like Super Space Marines went into the super space thing. It's like, no, these look like astronauts that just were given guns and went go shoot each other.
Yeah. Plus, it's interesting to do. You were mentioning the Gundam Battle Operations too, because they have space in there.
Yeah, space battles. Yeah.
How interesting it is having this weird 3D space fight where like people can kind of come from below and hide behind a piece of debris, and you can get some really interesting stuff that doesn't happen.
It's a whole 360 vision battle instead of just like twirling around trying to figure out if the guys behind you or in front of you is like, well, they're going to come in below, they're going to come to the top. It's like, fuck, like it's nerve wracking.
Yeah, even having like a radar doesn't work quite as well because you're never quite sure where they are. We're going to skip this. Trails of Cold Steel 4 is coming out in the U.S. It's got an announcement. I am kind of amazed that there are 4 of these motherfuckers. I played the first one a little bit, but we're getting that sometime. I don't know if it has a specific release date. Oh, it should be in the fall.
Okay.
But that's good for people who like the Trails.
Trails? Yeah, Trails.
Trails series. Let's see. Apparently, Nintendo is remastering the fuck out of Marios, and we're probably going to be seeing them. Apparently, the big thing that they were going to announce at E3 this year was going to be, because this is the 35th anniversary of Mario, was going to be remasters of Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh, so they announced the games themselves this time.
Well, this is a report that have confirmed that they have plans to remaster these. Yeah, so I don't know how far along they are.
A week ago, I heard that they were going to remaster, but they didn't say what they were yet.
Oh, okay.
But if those are the three that I'm hearing about,
yeah,
I know a lot of people are very excited about Sunshine because for some reason they're like, I don't know. That's the thing. Sunshine isn't Sunshine isn't my jam. But I've talked to a lot of people who said it was the last Mario game they really, really enjoyed.
I've been looking forward to playing Galaxy because I never played Galaxy.
I found Galaxy boring originally.
Okay.
When it first came out, I had it for the Wii, and I was just like, I don't give a fuck about any of this.
Well, I think I'd like to play it with like a real adult controller, a grown-up controller with like analog sticks, not like some waggly bullshit Wii controllers.
I think the funniest thing about it is that when it came out, they came out with that Crash Bandicoot game where he punched and kicked, and then Mario stopped punching and kicking, and he only spun in that game for his attack. Okay. And I was like, what the fuck happened here? Yeah, I like that idea. Super Mario 64 still is a very solid game. Yep. Mario Sunshine, like I said, it's fine, but I know a lot of people are going to be very excited about that, and people were rabid about Mario Galaxy when it first came out. Okay. The "You Are Mr. Gay" thing, though. You remember that?
Oh, I do.
That was the whole thing.
I do. Apparently, there's also going to be a new installment for Paper Mario.
Oh, that's neat.
And a deluxe version of the Super Mario 3D World from the Wii U.
I'm cool with that, though, because
that was a great game.
That game was great, and it's
amazing.
It's a shame it hasn't been on the Switch yet.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people had the Wii U.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun.
It was probably my favorite Mario game in a long time.
Absolutely.
I haven't been as big of a fan of the fully 3D Marios. I think Hat one
Odyssey is amazing.
Odyssey was very good, but like these ones, Sunshine 64 and Galaxy, I was always kind of like, but I really liked the way that 3D World split the difference between the two of them and making it feel like it was 3D, but it wasn't like fully 3D. Like, I don't know. It was
like a normal Super Mario Brother game. But
yeah. But
just
then,
with
tilted a little bit.
Tilted, and I thought that was a lot of fun. Although the cats thing pushed it a bit too much, I think, with the cats thing.
I don't know.
It was still fun as hell, though.
I liked it more than they pushed that new Super Mario Brothers for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
First on the DS, and then on the then on the Wii, and then Wii U. Right?
Yeah.
It was on the Wii first.
Yeah, it was on the Wii first. Yeah, it was New Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2, New Super Mario Brothers
U.
I think it was just Wii actually. And then it was New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, which I think was this, and then that one was then re-released on the Switch.
Right. That's the one that had Toadette or whatever, the crown that started the whole Bowsette thing.
The whole thing. Yeah. Whole weird, interesting point of the internet for a bit there.
Yep. Let's talk about some delays. The Last of Us 2 has been delayed indefinitely because of the whole coronavirus thing.
Here's the thing. I don't care.
Okay.
Like I wish I didn't say that because the thing is, The Last of Us I love so much, but Last of Us Part 2, I just don't like the idea of it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are into it. Apparently, the thing with them is that the game is pretty much done, but they just want to make sure that it gets released the right way, et cetera, down the line. So
that's just them saying we want money.
Delayed it indefinitely. I don't know. It was interesting because they tweeted it. They tweeted like a statement, and there was somebody in the comment section for that was like, just cancel it. I was like, what?
Just cancel it?
Like, it's done. It's finished. So why would you just cancel? Like, we made this whole game, which is like 5 years, several $1 billion of development. But you know what? Some guy on Twitter who doesn't like PlayStation is like, don't put it out. So we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it.
It's like, okay, I know a lot of people were excited about it, but it's just, when they announced it, it was like that. Oh, that's like that meme with Dennis where he's like, "Hey, D, this thing happened." He's like, "Well, I don't care." He's like, "Shit, I don't care either."
Yeah, yeah. I we'll just talk about it on the show.
I don't know. It's fine. I'm sure people are upset, but I don't care.
I've talked at length about it. The people, but we've talked about it in a lot of different ways, and I've talked about this a lot of times. Where like, I am not a fan of infinity sequels.
No,
I don't want anything. Games, movies, TV shows, fucking rock albums, books. Like, I don't want things to just have a million sequels. I want them to have a beginning and a middle and an end and then be done. Like the idea that we're talking about Resident Evil 8, which isn't even the 8th Resident Evil, because you've got like all the spin-offs and the Raccoon Chronicles and all the bullshit. Like, there's a point where you just keep doing things, and I thought The Last of Us was a great story at the beginning, and middle, and end, and I get. And, The Last of Us was so great.
Yeah.
And then Naughty Dog has, like, I feel like I would hate to be Naughty Dog, because it's like, they're like, hey, man, we got this brand new idea. We're going to make this thing. And it's like, hey, you made one of the greatest games of all time. Now make 50 fucking more of them and don't ever do anything different. And they've all got to be good, And it's like, oh, God, like, why?
That's the thing. Like, The Last of Us is to me, is one of the most perfect, like, beginning, middles, and ends of anything. And honestly, if they announced they were going to make The Last of Us 2 and it had nothing to do with Ellie and nothing to do with Joel, then I would have been all for it.
Sure.
But the issue is that they decided, they're like, well, it's great that this ending is kind of ambiguous and all this other stuff, but what if you found out what happened right afterwards? It's like, well, what the fuck? It kind of destroys the point of that kind of greatness of the ending to me.
Yeah.
And that's really my issue with it more than anything. But I'm sure it'll be... I'll wait for it, man. I don't even know. I just fucking don't know, guys.
I see. I'm torn, because on the one hand, it's like I don't really want that. On the other hand, Naughty Dog doesn't make bad games.
No, they rarely
make
do.
very good games. So like,
does that mean you admit you like Crash Bandicoot? Yeah.
No,
they made those.
That was a long time ago.
They made 4 of them.
That was a long time ago. I don't. But you know what? I don't like 3D platformers.
Oh, okay.
I skipped that generation because I didn't have an N64. So like, I went from the Super Nintendo Genesis era to like military shooters and JRPGs on the PlayStation. And like, I didn't play Jak. I didn't play the Crash Bandicoot. I wasn't interested in any of those. In fact, I went back and played Jak 1, and I was just like, oh, fuck this. Fuck this like mystical land of whimsical bullshit. I liked it when it was like in a downtown in a city, and Jak is all fucked up on like rage drugs or whatever happened to him.
Jak 2 was such a strange... That's the thing. Between Jak 1 and Jak 2 is a strange... To me, that's the thing. Okay, Jak 1 is like Naughty Dog... doing their final Crash Bandicoot-y kind of thing, and then merging, and then like going into what Jak 2 is, and then Jak is what it is, and then they go into Uncharted.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm waiting for that Uncharted kart racer, because based on the weird track record they did, it was 3 games, a kart racer, 3 games, a kart racer, and they didn't do it with Uncharted, and I'm still waiting for it.
No. All right, we got to finish. We're so far over time now. Fallout 76 Wastelanders has been delayed by a week. Originally, it was going to be coming out on April 7th. Now it's coming out on April 14th. So update your calendars, Fallout 76 fans.
Oh, my God.
We also had a report that apparently Halo Infinite might be delayed, but then Phil Spencer came out and said that if Halo Infinite is delayed, it will not affect the release date of the Xbox Series X. So... they won't be chaining those two things together, and delaying one won't mean the delay of the second.
I'm okay with that because it lets the Xbox One X get it, or not Xbox One X, the Xbox Series X get all its bugs out. By the time Halo comes out, maybe I'll have money for one.
Just call it the Xbox 4, man. Come on, I know it's
that's already causing confusion.
It's turned ridiculous.
Took 10 seconds for me to fuck that up.
Let's see. Minecraft Dungeons has been has a release date of May 26th.
Ooh.
Wasteland 3 has been delayed to August 28th, and that was from May 19th. And then last but not least, a couple of quick things. People are getting real sassy in Animal Crossing. Apparently, you get all these Animal Crossings that come to your island, and they won't leave. And apparently, people are now trying to like torture the NPCs that come to their island to try to get them to get so mad that they'll move out. Apparently, you can smack them with stuff, but some of the people don't want to do that. Where like one guy apparently put a gong in front of the door of one of the NPCs, and every time it's nighttime, he just goes over there and rings the gong to try to make the NPC so mad that they'll move away.
That's awful.
I'm kind of like, hey, Nintendo, I kind of dig this. On the other hand, maybe you should put an option for people to be able to let them off of their island. There's like a lot of like
surrounded that one with poles and just bug trap, and it's ridiculous.
Like surrounding people with holes so that they can't leave.
That's awful.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
That's what's going on in Animal Crossing. And last but not least, also in Animal Crossing, apparently some people are using some screen capture software to essentially recreate early 2000s music videos in Animal Crossing.
But why though?
Because this is the internet. Everyone's inside. People ain't got shit to do. And apparently my browser won't do this.
Fuck.
But yeah, there's been a few where people are basically using this to recreate weird music videos from the early 2000s. Well, it's just like one person. So
still though,
like their own like proclivities towards music videos goes in this one direction of when they were a kid. So yeah, it's kind of amazing to see them try to like use all the Animal Crossing stuff just to make these music videos. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty insane. Amazing, but pretty insane.
With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to answer some questions, so everybody stick around. We'll see you directly. And we're back. Michael.
Yes.
Are you ready to answer some questions?
Yes.
Okay. We have some.
Is that a question? I'm not sure if I was ready to answer that one. Oh God.
Yep. There you go. Got to get it together. Get it together. We're recording this so early in the afternoon. I'm just so not awake today.
He's not.
Mail@rageselect.com is the email address. Send your questions into. Our first question comes in from JD. JD says, "Hey, Jeff and Michael, my wife has the Switch on lockdown playing Animal Crossing, so I dug out our PS4 to find something to play. I forgot I had the Castlevania Symphony of the Night / Rondo of Blood collection downloaded, so I decided, oh, wait a minute. Wait. Oh, okay, never mind. We had a, I'm sorry, JD, and I'm sorry, everybody. We literally had a question last week that was about Symphony of the Night.
Oh, really?
That mentioned, no, I'm sorry.
It definitely was.
Nope.
I don't remember.
It was the Bloodborne one. I'm so confused. I'm so tired. All right, let's start this again.
They have whips.
Let's say this again. I forgot I had the Castlevania Symphony of the Night / Rondo of Blood collection downloaded, so I decided to finally give Symphony a shot. I want to preface this by saying that in my adult life, I found it difficult to focus on video games for long stretches of time. However, after booting up Symphony, I apparently played it for 7 hours straight without realizing it. My wife even made a comment that she'd never seen me play a game for so long in one sitting before. My question for you guys, what games have you started and found yourself sticking countless hours into without realizing how much time had passed? Thanks for all the great content. The podcast actually makes me look forward to Mondays, and that is from JD, who signed his email with his phone number.
That's fun.
Which I will not read on the air.
We'll call him.
I mean, I think there's countless examples of this, but like
I do that all the time.
Yeah, when a game is good, like that's the thing, is that I lose a lot of time to it. Like I cannot tell you the number of times that I've started up Kerbal Space Program and realized that I haven't even like stopped to smoke, which happens where I'm like, damn, it's been like 4 hours since I started playing this game.
You'd be surprised how little that happens though.
Yeah. Recently, Neo 2 was like that.
Oh, okay.
Where it was just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to do this one more thing. I'm just going to do this one more thing. And I think a lot of that is because Neo 2 gives you too much randomly generated loot.
Oh, okay.
So there's always just like, oh shit, I got this new thing that's like +5 above what I'm currently using. I should just use that and then go try to do this one thing. I got to a point where there was like a weird, like I was losing time, and then when I stopped playing Neo 2, I felt like groggy, like sleep deprived almost. As soon as I stopped playing, but there've been a lot of games like that. I don't know what are some of the ones recently that you say have just.
I do that all the time is the thing. It's like every time I look forward to a game and I like the game, that's going to happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I did it with Kakarot. I did it with Doom Eternal.
Right.
When Spider-Man came out, fucking like, dude, I spent 3 days playing that game. I literally remember the day I picked up Spider-Man. And I was like, I have errands to run. I got to go to HEB. I got to get my car inspected. I did none of those things. I woke up at like 9 in the morning, started playing Spider-Man, and I went to sleep at 3 in the morning. And I did that for 3 days.
I think it's one of the worst ones.
I ate once that entire time.
I don't remember if it was like Dark Souls 2 or like Bloodborne, where I think I did like a midnight stream for it, and then I stopped playing it, or I stopped streaming, and then I kept playing it. And the thing was that this is like way back in Rage Select, and Jason was going to come over to record.
Oh, yeah.
And so the thing was that I was like, okay, I'm going to finish this level, and then if I go to sleep, I can get 6 hours of sleep. It's like, okay, this new level is kind of interesting. I'm just going to finish this level, and if I go to sleep, I can get 5 hours of sleep, and I can just record with Jason, and I can pass out, right? It's like, okay. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay, listen, I'm just going to finish up this part, and I can get 2 hours of sleep. I can take a nap,
and
then put a lot of coffee in me. I think I got like 45 minutes worth of nap time before Jason came over, and I was just like groggy as fuck and didn't know where I was or what was going on. I can't do that anymore. Like, after I got past about 39, 38 years old, I can't really bounce back anymore. So like, last week, you and I recorded the podcast on Saturday because on Friday my air conditioning was out, and I got like 3.5 hours of sleep that night. And there have been a few times before where I've just been like, I can't do this. I just can't do this today. I mean, as loopy as I am today, it's nothing compared to what it would be if I've got like 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, there are times where I'm like, I'm going to come over, and you're like, don't you fucking, if I see you, I'll shoot you.
Don't do it.
It's like, I need a nap. I was like, okay, fine. I'm not coming. It's okay. You're fine. Okay.
Don't do it. Yeah, I actually kind of miss, like, there was a time in my life where, you know, I had a brain dead 8 hour a day job.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like you can just come home and, like, you know, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have any roommates, you don't have your parents live in another state. Like, it's just Wednesday, and I'm going to come home from work at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to play this game until 4 in the morning, and nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me at all. It's actually got a lot different for me since I got a dog.
Oh, okay.
The dog has to go for walks. You know,
that's
I gotta,
the thing with my dog too. Yeah.
There's all these enforced breaks that have to happen. So I don't have those like super long stretches. The worst one I think was when KOTOR came out on the PC. I've told this story a bunch of times, but when KOTOR came out on the PC, I started playing it and I didn't stop until I beat it. I played it for like 30 hours straight.
Oh, damn.
I didn't sleep. I got delivery food and ate while doing dialogue options. That was when I smoked inside my house, so I just had a big ashtray that was full. There's all these cigarettes coming out of it. And yeah, I called into work the next day and was just like, I'm not coming in. I'm not coming in. I think the other time that happened was when Snake Eater came out.
Oh, okay.
And I went and picked it up after work, and I played it, and I played it all night. And the next day, I called my boss, and I was like, I'm super sick. I can't come in today. And he's like, fuck you. I was like, what? He's like, you've been talking about that game for 6 months and how excited you are for it. I know what you're doing, all right? You're in trouble. Come in tomorrow, but you're in trouble. You're on my shit list for a few weeks. And I was like, okay, bye. And I got back to playing Snake Eater.
It's fair. Yeah, there was only one time I've ever done it with another person that way. Was when Super Smash Brothers Brawl came out, which is the Wii one. I went with my friend for the midnight launch. And we picked it up. We went back to his house, and we played the entirety of the Subspace Emissary because that was the easiest way to unlock everybody.
Right.
And we sat there and we played it from like midnight to like 9 in the morning. Like the sun was coming out, and I was just like, it burns. Because we'd been up all fucking night. Only time it's ever happened with another person, at least, because we were both super excited about Smash Brothers. And that was such a. I always think fondly to it because it's never happened again. Like, I've never gone to a midnight release and played a game with another human being from that exact moment until like the next day.
I think that happened to me with Breath of the Wild, because I think that we recorded dojos for Breath of the Wild, and then we re-recorded the dojos for Breath of the Wild because there was something about
what happened.
Like, I was in like a really shitty mood because I'd been up all night or something. I was just mad. I was mad at everybody.
Well, I remember you. It was because it was you and Matt Frank, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me that the second recording just fucked up, like entirely as well, because you re-recorded the first one because you were like tired and then they had to re-record the second one because it fucked up.
Yeah,
and I was just like, God damn.
Yeah, it didn't happen very often, but when it does, it's pretty bad. But
that was before I was actually doing Rich. Like, all I did was get him the Switch at this point.
Yeah,
by the way, because that was a fun time.
Well, there was also the weird thing that happened with the Switch early on, where like if I had it hooked up to my capture box, and then I turned the Switch on and had it hooked up to my capture box and let it just like be on for an hour, it would be fine. But if I didn't, it would always fuck up the audio for it. And I think something has changed in there, or like I got a different capture box or something. But it used to be that like when I first got the Switch, I had a hell of a time. Like it would always be fucked up, and I'd always have to go in and dick around with it and try to fix it, and the audio would be all No, what would happen is that like it would start dropping frames, and then at the end it would just turn into this weird thing where like 15 frames in a row were dropped, and then like 25 frames in a row were dropped, and it was just like this weird thing that happened at the end of every video. So yeah, but yeah, I mean that happens to me all the time. That's like what I consider like that's how I know a game is good, is if I forget to do everything or anything but play the game.
Absolutely. Control was like that when I borrowed it from you not that long ago. I played it for days, essentially. I ate once, like every single day I played it, and that happens to me all the time.
So JD, I guess what we're saying is like you need to find some better video games, man. Like if that's the first time it's ever happened to you. Like
what it is that those are rookie numbers, is what we're saying. You got to get them numbers up, son.
Get good, noob. Like get on my level with ignoring your family and your children and your wife and
everything. So yeah, just pretend other people aren't there and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Let's see. Joseph writes in and says, "Hello, Jeff and Michael. I was listening to Watch Out for Fireballs Dispatch a little while back, and someone asked what I thought was an interesting question. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think makes a good video game villain? And who are some of your favorites? Stay healthy and keep raging," from your loyal patron, Joseph. Let's see.
That's a tough one because it depends on the game.
Yeah.
Like Borderlands 2's Handsome Jack is a great villain, because he's such a fucking asshole. But he's such a fun asshole.
Yeah.
Is the thing. But if that happened in like fucking Bloodborne, I would be very confused.
Yeah. It's interesting it's an interesting thing to think about, because like I feel like there are different like levels of video game villains.
Yeah.
Like for example, like at the end of like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 remake was good.
Yeah.
Right, but he wasn't really like the final. Well, was he the final villain? What happens in there?
Well, he's not the actual final villain to Resident Evil 2.
Who's the actual final villain?
The scientist.
Oh, like Birkin?
Birkin's dead.
And then he turns into big eyeball arm monster.
Launch him,
yeah.
Or whatever.
Because like I don't remember who the end boss of, I don't know why I'm stuck on Resident Evil, but like the end boss of RE4 was, but I remember fighting Krauser. Like Krauser, that was kind of a great like little set piece fight with him.
I don't remember who the final boss is either.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bosses, but yeah, it depends on it depends on the game. Like I love Solid as Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's such a weird, like his whole backstory is just super fucking weird. He used to be the president of the United States. But he was also a clone of Big Boss, but like a normal clone of Big Boss.
Yep.
And he's got and he helped raise Jack. Like it's insane. Like it makes no sense. But I love the idea of Solid as Snake a lot. I love the idea of Liquid Snake a lot.
Yeah.
Liquid Snake is a great thing. Actually, you know what? That's the thing. I'm a big fan of opposites.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Bizarro. I'm a big fan of Venom. I'm a big fan of Bane. Like, I'm a big fan of, for some reason, I always love the idea of, like, what if it's the good guy, but kind of evil? Like, for some reason, I love stupid shit like that. And games, they don't do it as much, but when they do, I have a lot of fun with them. Mm-hmm. Like, there's what game was it? It was, Mad World. It was a platinum game.
Yeah.
He wasn't like the main bad guy.
This is like the fourth time Mad World's come up since you and I have been recording.
I love Mad World.
Happens all the time.
If Mad World gets re-released, I will buy the fuck out of it. But there's a boss in the Mad World who is the exact opposite of Jack. His name is Kojak, and he has the chainsaw on the other arm, and he has an eye patch. And the announcers consistently keep bringing up how they're basically the same guy.
Kind of like a Vash and Knives type of thing.
I love shit like that. For some reason, I've always loved the idea of the opposite guy.
I'm just trying to think of like, okay, so like, because when you go to like Metal Gear is an interesting Metal Gear is an interesting case study because there are a lot of villains in Metal Gear and most of them are good, right?
Yeah.
So like Liquid is an opposite and that's good. Solidus, but the question is, why is Solidus good? Is it because he's just fucking Dr. Octopus with like, he's so weird?
It's
because he's so strange and the president?
Exactly.
Like,
that's the thing about Metal Gear Solid 2, but that's why it works in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
Because Metal Gear Solid 2 is in its entirety to me, the weirdest fucking part of the entire Metal Gear series.
Right.
Like, because there's a bunch of weird shit going on between Raiden and the AI colonel and his girlfriend.
Yep.
And fucking all
Snake.
And Snake.
Iroquois Pliskin.
And Otacon. And the bosses like Vamp. Fucking Ocelot's back again, but he's got Liquid's arm.
Right.
So some weird shit's going on in that. I don't remember the woman who doesn't get hit by bullets' name off the top of my head.
Fortune.
Yeah. And then there's Fat Man.
And
I said Fat Guy.
My name is Fat Guy.
But yeah, they're all crazy, but they all have these really weird, intricate
unique
backstories, even compared to the ones in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
Because I love the bosses in Metal Gear Solid 1, but their backstories aren't really told to you all that much.
Well,
at least not in the way that Metal Gear Solid 2 does. Because in Metal Gear Solid 2, it does it within the story instead of with just like a quick Kodak call.
I think so. And then I think of like MGS3's bad guys work really well because like Ocelot is like a frenemy.
Yeah.
And then like Volgin sucks.
Yes.
Like he's just the worst.
He's
right?
just evil.
He's just evil. He's just this big, snarling, evil lightning man. And then the boss is like, your traitor, my mentor turned bad person, even though it's pretty obvious in the game that like she's never really, she just kicks your ass a bunch of times.
She just breaks your arm, tells you to fuck off.
Right.
And then you're like, but why though?
And then like even what I'm trying to get at here is I'm trying to think of all of these, and even in 4, right? In 4, the main enemy, quote unquote enemy, is Liquid again.
Yeah.
But now he's different. He's like,
well, he's a fusion. His mind is fully fused with Ocelot's, where they're now like one being.
Right.
So it's Liquid Ocelot is why he's called Liquid Ocelot.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it makes no goddamn sense. But
well, he's just like both Ocelot and Liquid Snake are both really like flamboyant characters, and I don't mean that in like a like a gay way. I just mean that in like they're just very larger than life, right?
Yeah.
They're
they eat
brother.
They eat up scenery like it's nobody's fucking business,
right? Yeah, like Cam Clark's performance of Liquid Snake is just iconic and amazing. So then the reason I'm thinking through all of this is because why does fucking Skullface? He's like garbage. Like I don't even remember what his deal was.
That's the issue with Skullface. Is you don't really understand his motivations,
right?
And you don't really understand why he has an opposite Fox thing,
right?
It's XOF. You don't understand anything.
And why is he wearing like the Lone Ranger mask in the beginning?
I feel like there's a lot that was supposed to be explained.
Yeah.
With him that just doesn't get explained.
Right.
And I think that's why Metal Gear Solid 5 doesn't work as well.
I also feel like you don't get as much interaction with him in 5.
You don't really get a boss fight really with him per se. He's just in what the fuck is it? He's just in a helicopter when I can't even say the goddamn Metal Gear's name.
Philanthropist?
Yeah, Philanthropist, when it just like takes out his helicopter or whatever.
Right.
And you just shoot him in the fucking face with a shotgun and you're just like, ha! Take that. And then the game doesn't end.
Right.
Which makes it even weirder. Because that's the thing, is every Metal Gear Solid game prior to that, there's a final like all or nothing battle with the last guy.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear Solid 1, you fight Liquid Snake on top of a Metal Gear
Rex,
without your shirts for some reason. And then Metal Gear Solid 2, you get into a katana fight with the president.
Sure.
With Doc Ock president.
Absolutely.
And Metal Gear Solid 3, you get in this badass fucking like tank battle with Volgin while you're in a motorcycle with a machine gun and a rocket launcher.
Yeah, but even that's the preamble, because the final battle is the one with the boss with like the cherry blossoms or the
But I mean, like against the bad guy though, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, there's always this like all or nothing bad guy fight.
Yeah.
And then you don't really get that with that guy.
Plus,
you just sort of shoot him in the face with a shotgun.
Plus, it's like, is Skullface the real bad guy, or is the real bad guy young Psycho Mantis and Kid Liquid Snake?
Kind of, at least based on what the final we completely veered off this question. By the way.
I'm just trying to think of like, so
I don't know why I looked at the TV like it was the audience. By the way, no one can see me do that.
We'll bring back to the question of just like, I think after thinking about it a little bit and going back to Resident Evil, and we can think about a few other things. I think it's familiarity.
Yeah,
because the thing is that Skullface you don't have very much interaction with, right?
Yeah.
But like the thing that makes that fight with the boss at the end of MGS3 one of the best things of all time is that the entire game has been building to that. You've been talking to boss. She's on your side. She defects. You fight her 3 or 4 times. Like that's one of the reasons why fighting Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 is great, is because you keep running into him.
Yeah.
Like he keeps busting through the wall. You keep hearing that doom 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 and you're like, oh fuck. And that's why he's more interesting than Birkin, even though Birkin has this huge backstory, but just like, who fucking cares? I don't care what the backstory of Birkin is. But then I was thinking of like RE7, right? And how like Jack is great because he's always there. Like you interact with him constantly throughout the entire game. And so, at the end when he turns into a fucking tyrant the size of a house, you're like, fuck you, Jack. Like, I mean,
well, that's the thing. It's not even just familiarity. It's the wanting to give them the comeuppance because they're so in your goddamn face with something.
Yeah.
And that's why I brought up Handsome Jack really early on, because he's consistently calling you over the phone, telling you your bullshit kind of thing. So you're just like, oh, I can't wait till I get to him so I can shoot him in the goddamn face.
Yeah. So I think, so I'm going to say familiarity and then good character traits, right?
Yes.
Because you and I differ on this a little bit, but like, I could never get invested in Spider-Man with Mr. Negative. The whole Mr. Negative thing, it was just like, I don't understand what this guy's about. I don't understand what his deal is. And so I'm just not really connected to him. Like I was more connected with just like, hey, look, it's Scorpion, right?
Yeah.
Like I know who that guy is, so I can fill in the backstory myself. But it's because I was not familiar with Mr. Negative. There's this huge part of that story that hangs on Mr. Negative.
We had this whole conversation like right after it first came out.
Yeah.
Because I knew a shit ton about Mr. Negative by this point.
Right.
And he wasn't even the same like character per se. I remember the conversation we had about it. And yeah, you bring up a good point. The Spider-Man PS4 only gives you a little bit with him.
Yeah.
And it never really feels like you don't really feel who he is, even with what it gives you.
Right.
Which is fine because it turns out he's not even the big bad anyway.
Sure.
But it's strange when the fact that everything advertising wise hinged on him.
Right.
A lot of the beginning parts hinges on him. And they give you it's a revenge story. It's like, yeah, but I don't really care all that much about his little revenge thing. But then you find out with the actual revenge thing, you're like, oh, well, that's fucking cool.
Right.
And that's what I liked about that part, is that it's the thing about a good boss is that you find yourself rooting for the guy in some way. And is another thing that some bosses are really good about. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying some of them.
Yeah, I'm a little so on that because I feel like
it depends on the game, though.
It definitely does. But I do feel that, I mean, and this is not, I'm not trying to like refute your argument or anything, but I feel like there's a thing that I've seen a lot in recent years where it's like, let's make this bad guy like have a somewhat relatable thing because that's how you make a quote unquote like complicated adult storyline. It's just like, well, you don't have to. I mean, like you just make a cackling evil motherfucker and we're going to be like, I'm going to like Baldur in God of War. Like, the thing is that Baldur shows up and you just have these really intense fights with him and he just doesn't go away. He's like fucking Mr. X or Nemesis or something where he's just fucking invincible. And like I guess he did have some redeeming qualities. You got the stuff that you see with him in Hell, and his kind of like, here's my pain. But I didn't really care about that. I was mostly just I'm gonna fucking fuck you up, motherfucker. Like, show up to my house like Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
I'll hit you with a tree.
Well, you feel like Kratos in that moment because Kratos looks at all these backstories and he's like, I don't care about any of this.
Right.
He's like, just don't fucking try to kill me and I'll be fine with you.
Right.
Like, at least at this point of Kratos' life. And I think that's what works for that bad guy, is that he's unstoppable to the point where, like, Kratos is just like, fucking go away.
Right.
It's like, this isn't even, like, my journey has nothing to do with you. Fucking stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm sure there's, I'm trying to think. I mean, I was also thinking of we're getting ready to see the Final Fantasy VII remake. Like Sephiroth is a really good example of a bad guy where like, because in the first part of that game, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think this is a spoiler so much as a setup. If you don't want to know anything, maybe skip forward 30 seconds. But
if you don't know anything about Sephiroth somehow.
Well, I'm not even going to talk about Sephiroth, but like the first part of that game is focused a lot more on Shinra and less on Sephiroth.
Oh, no. Sephiroth is more like this. He's this impending doom feeling that you consistently have in the beginning, because it's all about it's mostly about Shinra, and every now and then something with Sephiroth, like Sephiroth will just sort of pop out of a corner and flick off Cloud and then go away, and you're like, well, what the fuck was that? I was like, well, don't worry about it. Shinra is still the bad guy, and you're like, well, what the fuck? And then the end of Act 1 is that Sephiroth does something that amplifies the situation more than it was when that you thought it was. And then so forth kind of thing.
I'm just trying to think of also of like Final Fantasy villains, of like which ones are the most notable, because like you play Dissidia, right?
Yeah.
And you play as any of the bad guys, and there are a lot of them. Like fuck X-Death. He's like he's like a tree that wants to destroy the world or something like that. Like he's a tree man.
I don't even remember the bad guy plans from a lot of the other ones off the top of my head.
I mean, like Garland in 1 is interesting because there's a whole I don't know how long it's been since a lot of people played Final Fantasy 1, but there's a weird like time travel. He was a good guy
that's right,
who got corrupted, and that's interesting. But then you think of like who is the ultimate bad guy in 4? Was it Golbez?
Yeah, I think it was Golbez.
It's Golbez, man. But like Kefka, Kefka's good because Kefka's just got a lot of personality. Or 6,
3 or 6, I don't remember which one it is. But Kefka's very, very strange.
Yeah, he's got the little laugh on the Super Nintendo.
This little fucking clown murder dude, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Right, and so, but then when you get past that, I'm trying to think of like, do you remember? I guess Jecht was the ultimate bad guy in 10, but it was like Jecht combined with Sin, and I think that I don't even
remember.
I've never had a good like connection to that story because it was like I don't really understand what's going on here. But who was a good villain in 10 was the Seymour, right?
Oh,
who wanted to take Yuna away. And he was like macking on your girlfriend the entire time.
That,
and you're like, that dumb hair that came out with the big arrow on it and shit.
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to think, okay, so in 12, I don't remember, it was like the judges or something.
I didn't play a lot of them past a certain point.
13 had like, I remember the bad guy in 13 too because he dressed like he was in Poison.
Okay.
And 13.3, the enemy was God. So that's pretty easy to
true.
remember.
Yeah. That happens in a lot of games, apparently.
Yeah.
I think Persona 4, the enemy is God, isn't it? Or one of the Personas, the enemies is God?
I think I kind of lost track of what was happening at
one
the end
of the
Persona 4. Like.
It involves you fighting God to the death. And then another game, there's a lot of games that involve fighting God to the death in Japan for some reason.
But yeah, because I was trying to think of like Sephiroth, I think might be an exception in that like I don't remember much of Sephiroth's dialogue. Like I know what he was doing and I know why he was doing it, but I don't feel like he had a shitload of personality, but he did have a really kick-ass character design.
Well, the main thing about Sephiroth for a while
very evocative
is the fact that he was just impending doom.
Right.
And a lot of his stuff, and like I said, no spoiler, like if you don't want to hear spoilers about Sephiroth, just pass this question entirely. Is that Sephiroth, at least as it turns out in the beginning...
Talk a little bit around it.
Well, that's the thing is that like Sephiroth in the beginning might not even be Sephiroth, is the thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing that's going on in Cloud's head that consistently is fucking with him because of the idea of impending doom.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then eventually some stuff happens and some stuff, with Sephiroth. And then he has more dialogue from then on. That's much more like, I am kind of insane.
Yeah. I don't know. So I think of familiarity, good character traits.
Character design also goes a really long way, especially in fighting game bosses.
Yeah.
Like Gil in Street Fighter 3.
Oh, fuck that guy so much.
That dude is a giant asshole, and he's a good villain because he has this weird, unique design and these weird, unique abilities. But then you got like the dude from Street Fighter 4. It's not very interesting, Seth.
Yeah,
it's not very interesting because he just is a white blob who has your attacks, I guess. And you're like, I guess.
Yeah,
and his plan isn't even all that. His plan is the plot to the Dead or Alive movie, which is just like, I'm gonna gain all of everybody's powers and I'll be super ultimate evil. It's like, well, that's not all that interesting. Where Gil's a whole like balance of nature and stuff. Like that's the thing. Is it you need an interesting backstory, a good design, familiarity in some way, and a boss battle that you remember sometimes. Honestly, you don't need all of them at once. You just need like some of these here and there, and I'll remember your boss for a while.
I agree. All right, so we've already eaten up most of this second half with that one question.
It started with Metal Gear.
Toby writes in and says, Dear Jeff and Michael, hope you're dealing with the virus situation all right. Last podcast, you said grocery stores were low on supplies. I haven't had many problems in my small Canadian town. For 1 week, there wasn't much at the stores, but now everything has been restocked, including toilet paper. Liquor stores have been allowed to stay open because they've been deemed essential. I'm down to my last roll of toilet paper, so I gotta get out of here at some point. I hope that they've calmed down a little bit here in Austin. On to the question. I'm going to get some money soon and want to buy a console. Once the virus goes away, I don't have a 4K TV, so I assume I cannot buy a PS4 Pro or the new PS5 when it comes out. That's not true. We'll get back to that. I've missed many of the games over the past few years. Is there anything wrong with buying a console about to become obsolete and buy a bunch of games? I'm also interested in having a Switch. Should I buy a Switch instead of a PS4? Thoughts? And that's from Toby. So first things first, Toby. PS4 Pro, Xbox One X. You're not required. PS5, they will work on 1080p TVs.
Well, not only that, the reason that you would want one if you don't already have a PS4 or an Xbox One is because they load a hell of a lot faster. Mm-hmm. They load a lot faster. They run a little better depending on what it is. Like I had Dragon Ball FighterZ for my original PS4 and then my PS4 Pro, and the loading screens were like night and day. Like it's super obvious with those. The Xbox One X, they run really well with a lot of those games.
Also, it's worth noting that on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, there's a thing they do called super sampling, where it literally renders the game at 4K and then squeezes it down to 1080p, which makes it look a little better. It's not like the biggest jump in the world.
There's some games where it feels like it's almost night and day, not entirely, but it's a nice feeling, especially with stuff like God of War, maybe the Doom games. I think the Star Wars game apparently had a pretty nice look. With some fighting games, Super Sampler looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball FighterZ looks great on Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro.
I would say you're in a really interesting... Okay, so the way that you've laid this question out is basically like, if I didn't have the last generation of gaming consoles, should I buy a PS4, an Xbox One, or a Nintendo Switch? Now, my answer... The first answer here is going to be I would maybe think about waiting until the end of the year and get one of the new ones because they are going to have backwards compatibility to this era of consoles. Also, there's a rumor going around the PS5 is going to be $400. Like,
really?
Yeah. If that's the case, then like, dude, I can't. I mean, I would at least wait like another month. Or two, and see if you can get an announcement about what the pricing is going to be like. Because if the PS5 is going to be $400 or $500, like, don't spend $400 on a PS4. Spend $400 and then more on a PS5.
Well, the thing about that is that they did say that not all the games will be backwards compatible on the PS5. Ironically enough, because it's too powerful.
Right.
They were saying that some games will have issues with its new load time. Because it uses the load times for certain things, so it's just literally going to trip on itself.
Yeah,
which I think is fascinating.
But they also said that the top 100 games currently ranked on the PS4 will be backwards compatible.
Well, that's fine. I'm just like, the thing is that if the price is $400, as it turns out, which would be fucking absolutely amazing, then I would say wait. But here's the thing: is that the PS4s by themselves, I think, are like, and the Xbox Ones are like $200 right now.
What?
Something like that. They're pretty cheap right now. Last I checked.
Well, I'll load up Amazon.
These are like old school like systems though. I'm not the pro versions of them. But I think it's not a bad thing to want to get a system this late into its life. I did that with the PS3 when the PS3 first came out. I went out of my way to buy the original PS3 and just go from there. Because there were so many games that came out on it that I just missed. I think it's fine, especially if you feel like you're not going to need a top system anytime soon. Especially if you just want to play the old ones, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on it. I would say just get a PS4 or a PS4 Pro. Although PS4 Pros are still $350 to $400. But it's not a bad thing. There's a lot of the reason I say the Sony one is because right now the main thing about Sony's is that they have the best exclusives of any of the two major ones right now. Because Xbox has the Game Pass, which is great if you don't have a lot of money, but the PS4 has a fuck ton of great exclusives like I said, God of War, Spider-Man.
I'm still seeing PS4 regulars coming in at like it was $285 on Amazon.
There's probably that's probably a sale I was thinking of then. Kind of thing.
It's possible that you might be able to get lower than that, especially if they announce the new ones. That's the only thing that that's the only reason that I'm a little sketchy about it is because like right after they fully announce the new consoles, there should be some kind of price drop.
That's true. There will
on the existing consoles,
which is why when I got my PS3, I got it for like $100.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. If you really want to like look at last gen or this current gen, I would say get the PS4 because there's just so many games on it, so many like games that are only on it that were really really good, as well as the fact that I still think the controller plays really well, kind of thing. But that's if you're a single player guy. If you're not a single player guy, if you're very much into the online thing, the Xbox One is a great fucking system for that. And it's got the Game Pass, which is great for money stuff, so you don't spend a lot of the times. Xbox Live is still a solid online system. I would go with that. But if you want something, and that's going to keep going even from now, the Switch is your guy. Especially if you go to places a lot and you have free time while you're out in these places. I would say get a Switch. I don't know. It really comes down to what you specifically want to do game-wise. Like, do you want to play something that's Mario and also have something on the go that has, like, Doom Eternal on it or Doom or Mortal Kombat 11, all of these games? Or do you want something that's, like, super high-end and you want to sit down and play very long kind of games that look great, have a lot of console exclusivity? Or do you just want to, like, play with friends and stuff and also have a great, like, and save some money? It's really just comes down to, honestly, those three choices to me.
I would say that your first choice is games. And this is going to be a lot of overlap with what you were saying, but in my opinion, it's a flow chart, right? And it starts with what games do you want to play? Like, if Nintendo games are more important than any other games to you, Switch all the way. But the thing is that on the PlayStation, the Xbox One X side, or the PlayStation Xbox side, you've got all of these other games that are on multiple systems. Like, yes, Mortal Kombat 11, Doom Eternal are on there. Dark Souls is on there, and they keep putting stuff out on the Switch. But there's a lot of games that don't release on the Switch for a while. So those third-party games and then the console exclusives, I feel like the library is larger for the Xbox One, PS4 architecture, but then Nintendo makes good games, right? And like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon, Smash Brothers, and Animal Crossing, those are all very, very good games. So like and then there's also other stuff like Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Astral Chain and stuff like that. So the only thing about the Switch is that like you're limited in the number of games you get. Once you do that, and if you've decided to go with the PlayStation Xbox side, my big question is going to be how much money are you looking to spend, right? Because the Game Pass is an amazing way to catch up on the stuff that's gone on last generation.
There's so many things on it.
Million games on there that are all very good. None of the console exclusives, right? Or all the Xbox console exclusives, but PS4 really did have very, 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 very good, talk about, God of War and Spider-Man, Bloodborne still only exists on the PlayStation 4.
Exactly.
Like, you can't play Bloodborne on anything but a PS4.
I think PlayStation now lets you download PS4 games that are on it to your system to play.
Yes.
Last I checked.
Yeah, it does. It's a little sketchy, but there's that as well.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. So I would say that it's basically, to me, what it all comes down to is what games do you want to play? Look at a list of games. Which games do you want to play the most? If you want to play the PlayStation games, get a PlayStation. If you want to play the Xbox games. Yeah. If you want to play general games, the Xbox is good. Xbox also has backwards compatibility to 360s, which tend to be, in a lot of cases, the best version of a lot of those multi-platform games from that generation. Like,
it depends.
A lot of the 360 titles, a lot of those PS3 titles were kind of fucked up early on, and then they never really got fully fixed. I'm looking at you, Bayonetta.
That's true.
But like, so there's a lot of backwards compatibility into the 360 space, and there's the Game Pass, and then there's the new stuff. And let's not forget that, like, that Nier Automata release is going to be on Game Pass. Like, we keep getting stuff that's on Game Pass day one that's a brand new game. Like, Outer Worlds is still on Game Pass, so you can get access to that. PS4's got the exclusives. Switch has got their exclusives. So it really, to me, just comes down to games. Also, as I've said a million times in the past, if you want to be social, maybe poll your friends and see who has what.
Yes, exactly.
If everybody's got Xbox, you might get an Xbox too, just to hang out. But my first thing would always be wait. Like right now, like if you'd asked me a year ago, I would say go do it now. But like right now, we are so close to new consoles, new announcements that if you spend $300 or $250 or even $200, if you spend $200 on a PS4 and the PS5 is $400, like damn, that's yeesh. I would say wait if you could.
If that's what it actually ends up happening, I may end up actually buying a PS5 day one, if that's the case, at least.
Yeah,
because usually I wait for these sorts of things.
That's a huge rumor, though, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's a huge rumor. Rumors, guys. We'll see how it pans out.
All right, let's do some Discord questions. Let's see. IT Johan writes in and says, "Hello, Jeff and Michael. We all have bad guys. A lot of villain stuff this week.
Oh yeah.
We all have bad guys we love to hate and bad guys we hate to love. But what is an evil character in media that you just pity, either for what the character's actions are, or maybe just for their limited view of things? For a long time, I hated Sho Tucker, the Chimera alchemist from Full Metal, but seeing him being reduced to a miserable excuse of his former self during the course of the show just made me pity him, not out of empathy, but because he became a sorry excuse of a person. Hope you stay healthy and safe." And that's from IT Johan.
That I straight up pity?
Pity.
I guess with the Castlevania anime, I pity Hector quite a bit. He wasn't really villain per se, but he was on a bad guy side for a bit. Just off the top of my head, that's what I can think of. But game-wise, but yeah, actually just in general, it's tough. There were stuff where I remember playing, thinking that, but I don't remember it off the top of my head right now, at least.
I was trying to think of like pathetic characters, and the one that came to mind was Mr. House in New Vegas, where you go to him and he's like all fucking mummied up in that thing controlling those computers. But I'm gonna be honest here, I don't know if I'm a sociopath, but I shot him so hard and so fast and like I did not give a fuck. My whole thing in New Vegas was fuck all y'all. All y'all can go fuck yourself. I run the wasteland. I run Bartertown.
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
I hate you all. I hate you, New California Republic. I hate the fucking the Caesars. I hate the Mr. House. I hate you all. Hate all you guys.
I hate to bring up Metal Gear in some way, but I feel bad. I guess because he was a villain technically for a little bit, which is Big Boss. I feel really bad for Big Boss consistently because he's just like
he's a tragic character.
He's super tragic because he's just like he was a guy who believed really hard in somebody and his country, and then that person betrays him, but he finds out he betrayed him for their country, and it just destroys his faith in his country. And then he was really into like, well, what about soldiers? I believe in soldiers. But other soldiers didn't really believe in that kind of thing. And he believed in his friends, and they're like, they made the Patriots, and then they fucking kind of fuck him over. Like, he's just consistently getting fucked over by people he cares about kind of thing. Yeah, to the point where by the time it's done, he's like essentially comatose and then wakes up and then just gets poisoned essentially at the last minute.
Yeah.
It just sucks for him. Like, he never really got his happy ending.
I don't know if it's been long enough for us to talk about it, and I feel like we've just been like railing on like I feel like every podcast we get like somebody it doesn't matter just you, me, anybody. We always get into a theme of like 4 games, and then those games become
it's
like the thing that we talk about over the course of the entire thing. Because just thinking about the tragedy of the end boss of Spider-Man, where I was like, oh man.
I think it's been long enough for that one because it's been a couple years now.
Well, also I don't know.
Also, he's like one of the most recognizable villains in all of fucking Spider-Man.
When he shows up in Spider-Man, and you're just like, oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. You don't want it to go there.
Right.
It's the thing.
Yeah.
Because the game does such a good job at you seeing him and going, man, I know you're probably going to turn on me.
Yep.
But I fucking really like you right now, and I really hope you don't turn on me. And then they turn on you,
It'd be like if
and
you
you're
were-
just like, fuck.
So you're playing a Fantastic Four game, and it's just like, we're starting college with Reed Richards and his best friend Victor Von
yeah.
Doom, and boy, they're just best friends,
Inseparable.
And they do everything together, and they just they're always there for each other. Victor Von Doom is helping him go talk to Sue Storm.
He's very excited about this experiment he's doing.
Yeah.
And you really want to help him out.
Right, and he's like, man, you know what? This experiment could never go wrong. I'm going to stick my face right up to the experiment when it happens. Nothing is going to go wrong. Rich just like, dude, nothing could ever come between us, and you're just like, okay, video game, okay.
It's basically that is what happens. But Spider-Man is great about it because you do kind of pity him.
Yeah.
Even after everything he's done, especially the final boss fight and when you finally beat him and the conversation Peter has with him. You're just like, fuck, guy. Like, why did you fucking turn on me, man? Like, we could have been the bestest of bros kind of thing.
I'm trying to think, in a strange way, in Arkham City, Joker becomes pitiful because he's fucking dying of the weird disease, the like venom disease.
I could kind of see that
a little bit, like
fucked himself over as much as he does.
Yeah.
It's partly his fault.
Yeah.
Is really the thing.
It's an interesting story. Like, no other story has the balls to just be like, and then the Joker died and will never come back.
Just fucking dies.
And it's like, oh, okay. And this one has been long enough for just like, that Joker you've been fighting? That was Clayface, not
that was
Joker.
Such a fun reveal, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, how did I not see that coming?
Yeah. By the way, Clayface and Harley Quinn is great. He's so great.
Oh, he's so much
great.
fun.
He's so fun.
He's so great. It is I,
Yes.
the Aquaman. And I love him so much for doing shit like that.
That part when he was talking to Maxie Zeus.
Oh, yeah.
He keeps changing himself.
It is I, your long lost son. He's like, you're just supposed to be a mailman, dude.
Yeah, I love that gag when they have their plan to break into the GCPD, and they're like, okay, first thing is Clayface is gonna bring Killer, what's his name, King Shark,
yeah.
King Shark in, and then it's like, and then as soon as they bring him in, like everybody just descends on King Shark, they tase the shit out of him, like throw him in a van, and he's out, he's gone, he's at Rikers, like he's just out of it, and they're just like, what just happened?
Speaking of characters I feel pity for, he's not a bad guy, but Jim Gordon in Harley Quinn is so pathetic.
He's so pathetic.
But he is so much fun at how pathetic he is.
Yep.
You guys have to watch this show.
The whole subplot with him and Batman, and
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like, my wife's going to leave me. He's like, Jim, that's not what the light is for. You don't just do
he's
it.
Up there just turning it on and turning it off and turning it on and turning it off.
He's just fucking with it.
And then Batman comes and takes the bat symbol off the light. It's like, that's not a toy.
I love it, guys. Okay, I feel okay. I keep losing track.
That show is great.
Kite Man.
Kite Man
is a guy I do feel pity for, at least
pathetic.
comic book wise. Because comic book wise, Kite Man is one of the most tragic stories I've ever seen somebody write.
Yeah.
Because Tom King for some reason was obsessed with Kite Man, and wrote this amazing story with him that made me have so much pity for the guy, because he was a good guy. He gets tricked into working for the Riddler and Joker kind of thing, and his son's poisoned. It's this whole thing. It's super tragic, and you find yourself just looking at Kite Man, going, "Man, Kite Man, I feel really bad for you."
I got two more. I'm going to go back to the well of just things we've been talking about the entire podcast. When you find out what happened to the Baker family in RE7,
oh yeah,
it's really pathetic.
It's super dark too.
There's that one point where you interact with them as they normally are, in your mind or whatever, when you get knocked out, and it's just they're so,
it's a wholesome little family.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I thought you guys were the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacres, but it turns out that you were all driven to this weird madness.
Yeah, especially when you find the backstory stuff.
Yeah.
One of them is just oh, I went to the hospital today.
Oh, especially if you play the DLC.
Yeah.
Because in that DLC, that's the day that they bring the girl in, and then everything fucks up. And you play as girl,
Zoe.
Zoe, yeah, and then like everything just goes fucking crazy in a heartbeat, and you're like trying to get the fuck away. Like
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
that entire like everything you find out about them is incredibly hard. Actually,
except for the son.
Yeah, no, the son was
he's a maniac.
Sure that the son was a douchebag the whole time.
Shithead. He sucks.
But I don't know. It's like that's the thing about villains is that whenever I feel pity for them, I just tend to forget about them somehow. I don't know. That sounds mean, but it's very rare for some things to make you feel that way about villains.
I got one. I got all caught up last week. Gentle Criminal is pathetic.
Oh yes, Gentle Criminal. Okay, now I can finally talk about this.
Pitiful.
I can finally talk about this. I've been holding this in for fucking ever.
Well, don't.
Gentle Criminal is one of my favorite. I'm not going to explain why. I'm just saying Gentle Criminal is one. There's a reason he was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
When I read him in the manga, they finally revealed that shit in the anime. And I'm not going to spoil because this literally just happened like a week or two ago at most. But he was a character that like I consistently would have like at least in the beginning, people would be like, "Why do you like Gentle Criminal so much?" It's like I want to tell you really bad why I like Gentle Criminal as much as I do because I do feel genuine sorrow for him.
Yeah,
and they finally revealed, thank God. And it's so tragic because it's just like a guy who wanted so much out of life.
It's also in just the realm of the My Hero Academia show. There's been so much buildup to Gentle Criminal, and then like last week when they just went on to the next storyline, and I was like, "Oh, was that all?" There's like that was all that happened. I mean, I'm used to the assault on the Yakuza house was like 8 episodes or something, and this was like one fight.
It's like
it's done.
Yeah, it's just the one fight. Well, that's the thing I like about that's the thing I like about My Hero Academia is it's the same way a comic is, which is that. Not every Spider-Man comic is the end of the world.
Yeah.
Every now and then he's got a date he has to go to, and fucking the Shocker shows up. That's who Gentle Criminal is, kind of. He's the mid guy who's just sort of there. But My Hero Academia is so good that they give you a really good backstory to that one random dude.
Yep.
And you're just like, ah, damn you, show.
Yeah.
Or God damn you, manga. You've done such a good job at making me feel pity for this guy. And the thing is, there's a lot of other characters actually, most of the villains in My Hero Academia, I feel pity for the most part, except for like a few of them.
I'll throw in a vote for twice, but outside of that, most of those motherfuckers in like the League of Evil and the
I can't tell you why
Shikasaki and stuff.
Can't tell you why I have pity on some of those other guys.
Like I feel like
it's a manga thing that I can't explain. I just know it gives them backstories eventually.
I feel like in the show they were trying to get me to have pity for the Yakuza boss guy.
No, fuck that guy.
But like fuck that guy.
That dude, 100% fuck that guy.
They were just like, oh no, he was like abandoned, and then he tried to do this thing, and his foster Yakuza dad was kind of like, no, don't do that. And then he was like, fine, I guess I'll put you into a coma and try to rob this society of everything that makes it what it is. And I'm just like, by taking this little girl and torturing her, and I'm just like, no. Show, you can fuck off with that guy, all right?
Like, I don't feel no pity for him.
Like when what happened to him at the end of that arc happened to him, I was just like, good.
Yeah, I was like, we come back and take his legs real quick. That'd be great.
Good.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
But yeah, fuck that guy.
Throw him in the river.
Yeah, animes are decent at giving me some pity, sort of some guys. I guess Vegeta's that kind of way. Like Vegeta, it starts off as this villain who's like, I'm just gonna blow up the earth because fuck you. But then you watch him get tortured essentially for like 3 episodes by Frieza, and you're just like, oh man, I just feel sorry for you now.
Yeah,
like you've lost your will to fight, and this is the guy who like is just beating you to death, like literally.
All right, let's do one more and then wrap it up. Dan K says, hey Ragers, I know that Jeff says this new Corona world is not too different from his pre-Corona world, but is there anything you miss with all the self-isolation going on? Rage on, and that's from Dan K. Anything big you miss, Michael?
Well, I go out more than you do.
Yes.
I think. So I miss everybody I hung out with, as well as the people I worked with, to be honest. I miss a lot of those guys, like legitimately. Like that sounds like I didn't realize how much I miss those guys until, I wasn't at work for a little while because of, some personal stuff. And I was really looking forward to going back to work to see these guys again.
Right.
Only for this stuff to happen.
Yeah.
So now I'm working from home, and I maybe chat 1 or 2 of them here and there. But I don't talk to a lot of people outside of that. I also missed being able to the sheer amount of stuff that I took for granted at a grocery store kind of thing. Like the I'm going to bring up the homemade tortillas, of course. I miss the homemade tortillas. I miss being able to walk into the.
You still have like 60 of them.
I have 40 of them.
Okay.
Right now,
because I
use a little less than 40. I have 30-ish maybe. I use a lot of tortillas.
Okay.
But I miss that. I miss being able to walk into a toilet paper aisle and not see it like basically a flame.
Yeah, me too.
I miss. Luckily they restocked the dog food because that did freak me out for a second.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I missed getting a big bag of dog food, so they buy 3 smaller ones that I essentially I'm just going to use to fill up the other big one. But it's just the easiness of things. I miss being able to like as much as GameStop is kind of evil. I miss being able to go to GameStop and be like, well, maybe I'll buy a physical copy of this game, kind of thing. Also miss the fact that like if I order off of Amazon, that things aren't going to show up as quickly as they would before, kind of thing. It's a lot. It's so many first world problems is really what it comes down to. Also miss speeds on some internet stuff.
You and me both.
There are some things that have been throttled because of these things. I do worry about a lot of my friends as well. I miss knowing that they were all fine, I guess, because there are a lot of people I've talked to who've either lost their jobs, personal circumstances has caused them to either not be able to get a job, other like things have caused them to maybe shut down some of the stuff they were working on. I also miss the ability of knowing that my TV shows were being filmed on time.
There's that too.
Barry season 3 got delayed. The Batman got delayed. Like all the Ghostbusters Afterlife fucking got pushed back to next year, which fucking goddamn that sucks. And it sucks. Like I wish being able to go to like a store and feel like I didn't have to worry about having to be 6 feet apart from somebody.
Sure,
I don't know. It sucks. It's shitty. I guess I don't know.
For my money, there's like 3 big things that have changed in my life. One is that like Michael and I are probably going to be doing a couple of recordings this week, but like that's the only recording that I'm doing. And in a normal week, every day there'd be somebody over here, whether it was Amanda or John or Matt. But you know, Michael and I are both pretty isolated, and we're both just like, let's just do this one thing. You know, like I actually have a kind of a harder time solo streaming because I'm just not used to talking to myself. Right?
It's difficult.
I don't get as much feedback. I can do it. I just don't get as much feedback, and I always feel like I'm less entertaining. Like I'm trying to think about whether I should just like try to calm myself down and do like that, because like a lot of Twitch streamers, they'll just sit there and like they don't say anything for a long time.
Stare at the screens
just
for a while.
Stare at the screen, and I feel the need to constantly be talking.
Well, you feel guilty is the thing. It's like because it's like, well, I'm here to entertain you, but you're just watching me play a game, like literally watching me.
Yeah.
Like, and if I'm not doing anything that I feel that's worth recording, well, then what's the point of me doing it? Like my brother, for some reason, he's like, you should start Twitch streaming. I'm like, I'm not entertaining enough on my own, I feel, to justify something like that. Because there are times where if I play a game, I'm just staring at a screen and the entire rest of the world isn't happening.
Right.
At that point. And that's just, and I'm unfocused.
Oh, it was super hard with Persona too, because Persona's story heavy, right? And so it's like I have to also be looking at the chat. Right.
Exactly.
So like I have to keep taking my eyes off of the thing. I'm trying to make a joke. I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm trying to look at the chat at the same time. And then, you know, part of me is trying to record for like the replay. So I don't want to be too chat focused for somebody who's watching us on replay. So that's one big thing, is just the number of people that have come over. You know, I don't have a lot of social stuff. Also, I felt like I was almost ready to start trying to date again right before this happened. Like I was getting there.
I've heard that from a lot of different people.
Like
I
was just like kind of on the cusp. Like I downloaded Bumble on my phone, and I was like, "Fuck it, man! I'm just gonna take some selfies and be like, here I am, world, whatever.
Come at me, son."
Yeah. But then the other thing is food. Is that I do a lot of drive-throughs on a normal day. But I would spice it up a lot with like going into a sandwich shop, going into the Panda Express, going into a Chipotle, walking in and getting a thing and bringing it out. And I just haven't really been comfortable doing that, or like, I don't know, order it and then pull up and they'll come out and give it to you. So all I've gone to the exact same fast food place. I've either gone to P. Terry's, which is a local burger joint I talk about all the time, or Wendy's, like every day. one of the meals, and I'm so fucking sick of everything that's on their menus, and I just don't. But then the other thing is that for dinner, before I did this, a lot of times I was making these big fucking sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
It was just a sandwich and had some nice cheese and some turkey and I don't know, put a couple eggs on there and some fresh cut tomatoes and lettuce and mayo and mustard and then a big handful of tortilla chips. The problem is I can't get any of that anymore. I can't get the bread. The last time I went to go try to get bread at my local HEB, it was gone except for the jerk bread.
I got lucky this last time. Finally there was enough just bread. Just there, and I'm like,
maybe I need to go back because I went 3 weeks ago and I haven't been back since.
Okay.
So maybe I need to go. The thing is, I feel like I need to go at 9 a.m. and I don't wake up at 9 a.m.
That's the thing is when I go, it's usually 11 a.m. kind of thing, and a Tuesday or Wednesday. So luckily, some people are either working from home or they're just asleep.
Okay,
and so I've been able to find some stuff that way.
But I'm getting a delivery tomorrow of fruits and vegetables, and I just can't wait because without being able to get all that stuff, I've been peanut butter, bread, chips. Every night for dinner, I have peanut butter, bread, and chips. Don't get me wrong, peanut butter sandwiches are good. I don't do jelly, too much sugar. But peanut butter sandwiches are fine, and I could still eat peanut butter sandwiches. But if you eat anything for fucking 8 days in a row, you're going to be like, oh my god, I need something that is not this.
Absolutely.
So I'm getting all this crazy food delivered tomorrow, and I need to maybe try to go. It also doesn't help that it's been the end of the month, so finances have been pretty strained.
Okay.
So trying to eat the cheapest I possibly can. So in a lot of ways, I'm just I just want some different food. Man, it's
a lot has changed. Hell, even me coming over here is technically considered a risk by a lot of different people.
Sure.
I told my brother that I did Race Select or whatever, not too long ago, and he's like, then he just fucking got mad at me.
What?
He got mad at me for leaving the apartment, essentially, because the whole quarantine thing is just people are very expectant of you to not go anywhere, but that's what makes it so tricky. Is that I feel bad for going somewhere now. And that's very frustrating.
I can see it
when it comes to that sort of thing. That was the thing is because when you ask oh, are you cool with still coming over? It's I am still cool with coming over, but I realized that my brother is 100% not cool with me leaving this apartment for not essential things, quote unquote, kind of thing. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling to have guilt from wanting to see somebody, kind of thing. And it's just that's kind of what I miss too. I miss not having to have guilt coming to Jeff's house, kind of thing. It's a weird thing. It's not something that I ever thought was ever going to happen.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Unless it was apparently, unless it's going to an ex-girlfriend's house kind of thing. That's a guilt thing, and you should have guilt of that, but for different reasons. But but that's what it is. And there was a lot of plans I had before all this went down. Like you were mentioning the day thing, I wanted to start working out again. because I have a gym at my office. I wanted to start walking again there, and I'm quitting soda, and I'm only drinking punch kind of thing. A lot has changed, so I miss how much has changed, I guess, in this small period of time, more than I thought. And there's stuff that even I did. I miss Cokes. I'm not I have them at my apartment, but I put that on myself is what it comes down to. But it's one of those. It's the feeling. It's like Airplane. I picked a bad week to quit drinking. Right. I picked a bad week to quit smoking. I picked a bad week to quit sniffing glue, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's fuck. I picked a really bad time to make a lot of life changes.
Yep.
Because prior to this, I probably would have been fine.
The other thing is that I just for the record, I'm extremely happy that you decided to come over here, because also the thing is that I don't interact that much with a lot of other different people. But the thing is that over the last since Saturday of last week, where you and I recorded, I've interacted with no one until this Thursday. There has been no human being in my house except for me and my dog since the last time that you were over here. And I'm a person who can be pretty isolated.
No,
but you do start to feel it after a while. If you don't have any kind of just even casual contact with other people, right? You've got your roommate, so that's kind of a different story.
It's driving me fucking nuts.
Well, there's also that. I mean,
and it's not 100% his fault. It's also the fact that like I said, I've tried making a lot of life changes at the same time, and a lot has changed.
Sure,
just even before all this happened.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, you can't go outside, or you can't just leave for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our show. I guess we'll end there.
Yes. Depressing notes.
Mail@rhside.com is the email address. Send us in questions. As of this week, we're kind of almost out of questions. I guess if people send in 2 questions and each question results in us talking for 35 minutes, then we only need 2 questions every week.
Just ask us something about Metal Gear and see how long we'll go. It's all it takes.
Yeah. And you can check out more from Michael over at oneofus.net, doing stuff over there. I know that oneofus.net has been doing a lot of like streaming and stuff.
Yeah,
recently.
they're gonna try to stream some stuff more and more lately.
Okay.
I know this is gonna go up before that point, but they're planning on streaming Ninja Turtles on Friday.
Oh,
because it was like the 30th anniversary or whatever.
wait, like tomorrow Friday?
Yeah, it's tomorrow Friday. That's the only reason.
Oh, well, this goes up on Sunday.
That's what I was saying. Like this would have already happened, but it's a good example. Okay. It's an example of what they're doing. I think like it would have passed by then.
Right.
But they're consistently trying to do more and more stuff like that right now. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. And with that, we'll leave you. I guess I still need to sign off, Michael. See ya in the pages.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Same channel time. Page time. Rage select.